are here. Hello. Oh no.
Oh no.
We have technical issues yet again.
Glenn, it's
Well,
saying your screen
It's
has
okay.
taken over your
We
ceiling.
have special guests. You'll see the special guests in a second when our tech goblins, aka the dungeon master, gets to it. Hi, my name's Jared Sarton. We have Lauren Bird, Nathan Ondersek, Lindsay Sarton, a couple dogs on her lap, and two surprise guests, which we'll introduce. Players, well, I'm getting the screens back to normal. Feel free to talk about our wonderful sponsors.
Guys, our sponsors are awesome, and I would say that even if they weren't our sponsors, but because they are, I'm going to say it all the more so. Hello, Penguin Witch Doctor. Welcome. Happy Saturday. We've got Nathan.
You're holding yours. Do yours.
Critical Treasures makes super fun dice bags. Really, they make any nerdy stuff that you want. They've got dice trays. She makes dice now. She makes, what doesn't she make? We got the nifty little keychains with D20 in them, so you always have a D20 wherever you are.
Always handy.
Very handy.
For when you want to start a fist fight, but you also, want to go first by rules.
You roll for initiative to decide who gets to punch first.
That's how a fist fight works. Anyway, let's talk about some of our other great sponsors, like Blacksmith Craft Dice, who rolls just what you need. These are amazing metal dice. What is that? There's them, D20. Beautiful, nice heavy weight to them. And if you get one of their newer color sets, they actually come with not one, not two, but 3 D6s. Because it's one of the more common dice used in any RPG scenario. So you definitely want to get one of those, because it's got so many. And they just roll what you need. It's just a really nice set of dice.
And very fashionable.
Very fashionable. Comes in a nice metal tin. Comes also with a velvet bag, so you can carry them however you want.
And then for all your caffeination needs, we also have a sponsor, Caffeinated Kobold, who makes amazing coffee with fun, nerdy names. So what more could you ask for?
Raise the dead if you need double caffeinated brew.
Or if your DM has a, TPK.
What?
So, players, please start ordering your Raise the Dead right now.
Yeah, I'm going to need it.
Awesome. I think that covered all of our sponsors.
We have not talked about the tips system, though.
Tip system. So there's a few things that go on with our tip system. We do wonderfully collect your bits. Bits in 500 or more will enact essentially the same thing here as a $5 tip. A $5 tip is a mild magic scroll. So this little box here has a bunch of scrolls in it. I have removed the one that keeps giving DM advantage, and I cried at that. But there are fun little things like magical good berries, DM advantage, player advantage, various other things. So at the $5 level, this randomly applies to the game. At the $10 level, we do have a reroll. You can assign a reroll to anybody on screen, players or DM, and that means whenever they have a bad roll, they can say, "Hang on a second, I'm going to use that reroll that was donated to me," and quickly reroll that die. Finally, at the $20 level, we do have a challenger approaches. I have a list of creatures, characters, things that could show up, good and bad, and some neutral. And with that means that the game could change a little bit. You could be sitting in an inn, enjoying your breakfast, and a bugbear pops out of nowhere because, well, that's what the Twitch decided.
What happens when you go to Bugbear Cafe?
Yeah. So there's all of that. We do love to hear what you like to say in the tips. So feel free to give us a tip message, and it'll show up on our screen over here. There's one last thing to talk about as far as the show goes. Below me, right next to Glenn, we do have a little health bar. That health bar does show a person who watches the stream. That person had taken out the last hype boss. Yeah, right down there, Glenn. Thank you. The last hype boss, perfect. The last hype boss did take over and has a health of 1036. Any tips, bits, follows, donations, etc. take down that hype boss health bar, and if you become the new hype boss by doing said actions. Yep, oh man. All of my players. If you become the hype boss because of said actions, you get to give a nat 20. Instead of a reroll, they get to say, I'm just going to use that as a 20. And that's a critical for most people. Bigsby, sir.
I just had a question. You said down next to Glenn. What is a Glenn?
What is a Glenn? We have a Glenn and a Sarah that have wildly appeared on the show. Intro Pokemon cutscene. Glenn, Sarah, say hi, introduce yourselves briefly, and then we'll quickly kill you off.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
I am Glenn.
Wow.
Wow.
Yay!
That was so
Surprise. Glenn is a streamer, so you can find him on Twitch. Feel free to, Glenn, if you're in chat, say hi, it's me. If not, Glenn will post in a second in chat so you guys can see who he is. He does a lot of video game streaming and a lot of other streaming around D&D and various other things. He's on the internet all the time. Sarah, do you have anything that you want to share?
I'm on Instagram.
Instagram, perfect.
It should be floating around on our.
It's
screen.
literally
Yep, right
next
there.
to Glenn's face.
Perfect,
right now.
right there.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. We practiced this for a week straight, ladies and gentlemen. That timing was that was rough. Whew. That timer just counted down perfectly. Awesome. So follow Sarah on Instagram. She does have a lot of great content. She posts on a few different channels. So follow her, stalk all of those channels, say hi, and like everyone else here, we do have our Instagram below. So if you want more of the fuzzy puppies, they're there as well. I think I'm on there if you really care. And all of our sponsors are there too. So take a look, have fun. Players, anything else you want to talk about, share with our group before we kill off characters?
I mean, when you put it that way.
I had
I mean-
a really good cheeseburger.
I did wear my favorite shirt.
Yep,
Okay.
that's-
Well, then let's, rip the band-aid off and get to it.
I clearly forgot what day it is.
Thursday. All right. Well, diving in, I think the last time we saw most of these characters, we were in the small hamlet of Torgash. There was a fun little experience that had happened in Torgash, such as a puppy traveling through a wormhole. You just saw that across your screen. But there were ghosts that were haunting the main house and some of the village that was there. Our players came in and figured out what was going on and dispatched of said ghostery, being a little box that continually emitted souls that had passed. Now, after the fun battle with a slime or so, and survivors did end up recovering. No one was completely wiped away or disintegrated into the slime. They'd spent a couple days getting their weapons cleaned up, their armor fixed. Bigsby had been gifted a wonderful enchantment to his scimitars, and it was the morning that Bigsby expected his delivery of said scimitars. Now, in the hamlet, there was only one small restaurant, a very, very nice, posh restaurant. It was the Stumblan Inn, is what they called it, but it was spelled just like the Stumble On Inn from the rest of the area. It even had a dragon crest, but this was golden emblazed. So it was a bright, shiny dragon crest on the front, very much like the rest of the chains. But the two tables inside sat very plush chairs, and our party had walked in and sat down for the morning. Bigsby, Aloan, and Rosalind, that is. The fourth member that had joined them had decided to carry on his way, trekking across the countryside. It was a quiet morning, and food came out just in time to meet Bigsby's growling stomach and McCallJ sitting at the side of the table, drooling and waiting for his morning food. Now, as the forks were just to be placed into the food, another figure walks in. A robed figure who pulls back his robe and slings across a giant satchel and gently places it in front of Bigsby And as he begins to open the satchel, Bigsby catches sight of his 2 scimitars that were being taken care of and blessed with.
Well, so Bigsby's been sitting there pretty much, a little bit, maybe a little bit longer. Like this was like, hey, we're gonna go grab breakfast at the Stoombalan Inn, or however they pronounced it. But he's been sitting there like, where are they, Mick? I think they're late. And then like the food came out, and he's just like blindly grabbing food, and probably ate some of Mick's food accidentally, and he's just been waiting there. And then this creature comes in, and it pushes down the satchel, and the bag starts to open. He's like, oh yeah, baby. So he draws the first blade, and it just has this light glow to it, this just slight brilliance to it as it gleams out of the bag. And then as he puts it kind of in the leather sheath, knowingly, he comes and grabs the other one, and there's just this hum, and almost like a shaking to the blade. It doesn't look like it's as still, like it doesn't just have a stillness to it. It is just almost vibrating with energy, and he kind of stills that one on his back, which is kind of nice because it's like constantly, just like a nice back massage with that like constant little like, which is nice, but it'll be something to get used to. And you would probably guess through that he now has a blade that does radiant damage and a blade that does force damage, per the Discord's choice of the Jedi special.
The figure looks at Bigsby as he's placing the blades on his back. Sir, the sugar and spice combo that you wished for? And backs away and walks out the door.
No, that's... Wait, hold up. He pulls out one of the blades and he licks it on the dollar side just to see if the guy just made it sweet.
No, they're enchanted as you expected, but
okay.
Apparently his notes weren't as you had described.
Okay. Well, I think it still worked. We can go back to whatever normal business we want now that I feel myself again.
As the man pushes through the door and nearly bumps into 2 figures walking in, he steps back and holds the door as I believe a tiefling and a human walk in.
We do.
Excuse me.
Oh, well, it looks like there's another table in there. You should take it quick. You're not from around here. I've not seen you yet, but enjoy. The house combo is a very good breakfast treat. And he hustles off down the street.
Go in and sit down. We go in and sit down.
As you go in and sit down at the second of the 2 tables, you're only a couple feet away from the other 3 and a riding fox who's just as tall as the chairs, sitting upright, looking at the table over a small hunter with a big mustache who is looking down at his breakfast and is starting to dig in, the big blades now hanging off of his back.
Neither does that guy have a really large.
What about the fox?
What about
The big fox. Did you say a riding fox?
a
Yeah.
riding
Yeah,
fox?
So it's a gnome with
You
the...
see a fox about the size of a mastiff that has a leather saddle on his back.
Okay.
And
I was thinking the size of a horse. I'm glad it's not the size of a horse.
Well, because how big is its
I'm a
rider?
gnome.
That's
Seeing the new people sitting right next to us with such shocked expressions, I'm gonna lean over and just say, "Don't worry, he's friendly. The fox too." And I go back to eating my breakfast.
The barkeep steps out of the kitchen, cleaning a glass. What can I get you this morning?
We heard the specials are good.
Oh yes, the special 1 or the special 2? Which would you like?
One.
Water?
water, and the special two. The special one? Oh,
What?
do you know that lot? He looks like he's trying to tell you the special one is what to get.
I don't, but I feel it's a good choice.
All right, the special one: eggs, bacon, and a good salad, greens that is that goes with it. It's nice and spiced this time of season. Do you like it spicy or mild? And
Mild.
just as you order mild, you hear in the kitchen, "Quit annoying the customers. The special one doesn't have that many options." And the young man kicks back in. "Food will be out soon."
Speaking of special ones, Shadow Reel is here.
With her resub for the 10th month in a row, taking down the hype boss about halfway.
Yeah, we're halfway down on that hype boss. Thank you, Shadow Reels. Welcome back.
Halfway there.
All right.
Whoa.
Now there's another silent figure at the table. Across the way, a hood pulled up over their head, mist kind of coming off of the fringes of this cloak. Silent and quiet. That's yet another thing that the two new folks see. It's quiet in the inn, and as you smell breakfast being cooked, one of the doors to the kitchen swings open, but you don't see anyone come out from behind the bar. And then around the corner, a goblin with a tray on his head stumbles up. "Oh, I've got your foods here." And he slides it up onto the table, and the water glass topples back and forth and nearly splashes over. And he turns back towards the kitchen and puts his hand up. "I'll send some more bread out for all of you." And he goes back in the kitchen, and quiet comes over the inn again.
So, where do you think we should go next? Do you think maybe like back to where we were, just here?
Back to where we were, just here.
I mean, we could just go to the forest. I feel like all three of us really.
I could use some forest time.
I mean, just it's an option. I'm just spitballing here. Elowen, thoughts? Forest, city, the open ocean.
I'm gonna take that one off the list.
I mean, I didn't want it. I'm just trying to get what she feels. We can vote her down.
I have no feelings.
Wow. So she's her usual self.
As the conversation continues, the door swings open abruptly, and a heavy thunk and clud of a booted figure walks in. A cloak draped over the figure appears slashed in a few places, and instead of blood, there's a dark liquid that soaks some of the cloak. And just as the figure steps in and pulls the hood back, a metallic head with eyes that are deeply sunken in. Within those eyes, there's almost a glowing flame. As the figure looks around and speaks, you hear a clinking and a clunking as if it's almost a geared device in front of you. And the figure looks around holding what appears to be a hand at its side. "Excuse me, everyone. Have you seen an artificer in the area? I am badly injured." And as you hear him stutter, sparks seem to shoot out under his hand. He looks around. Have no fear. You might not have seen any of us before. I am one of the last of my kind. I am a Warforged. And
Do healing spells help you?
Not if they take care of flesh. They can only give me slight amount of fixing. I need magical, and he cranks his head a bit. Magical imbued items.
there's a guy, and I pull out one of my scimitars. I'm like, there's a guy who did magic on this sword, and it is also metal like you.
Is
You
he
just need magic items?
special magic items? One that is imbued with life. And he looks around and sees a glass on the bar, half full of beer, and he drinks it, and you hear it kind of splash into a mechanical system within. And he looks around. The only name I know is the Artificer. He goes by that as he is the one on this island who knows my kind.
Hey, barkeep!
You don't hear much from back of house other than some cooking and some grumbling sounds of what seems like a couple goblins making breakfast or cleaning dishes.
Hey, two people who I haven't officially met yet. Do you, any of you an artificer? Artificer.
No, we aren't. Wait, what happened to you?
I travel and collect knowledge, but I was ambushed on the road up out of town. And it seems that parts of me are valuable, and I must recover them or have new parts created for me before I shut down.
So if we go find who took them and brought them back,
They were on horseback and headed swiftly from the area.
I mean, I've got a fox. But I think we should maybe focus on Artie. This Artie guy.
Oh,
Do you?
right. My designation is C18N. If you find him, he will know.
C18N. Okay, so we gotta find. I mean, we gotta find an artificer, but I don't know where an artificer lives.
Is there anyone in town that might know?
blacksmith? We could check with who made your magical swords first.
Yeah, he might be not too far, and then I could see at least if he knows where this guy would be.
A small goblin comes walking out of the kitchen. Anyone need anything else for breakfast? Oh, sir, you're leaking something on the floor. I'll clean that up. But you need breakfast? Oh,
He needs an artificer.
artificial what?
Never mind, you don't know either.
It's a magic person who fixes things.
Oh,
made
there's
of
lots of magic persons who fix things here. Oh, there's the blacksmith, there's the armor smith, there's yep, those two guys. And then there's also a couple other guys here that do magical things. Their shops are just opening up, just down the road. Let me check here. And he leans out and he looks at this clock tower that is in the central area. In about 2 minutes, all of their shops will open up. Very, very on schedule, as one would expect. So feel free to head their way, and I'll get the tab out to you.
Yeah, we'd like to check.
Oh, okay. And he hustles off. And a moment later, you hear a voice from behind the bar. Apparently, your food's still cooking. Do you need anything else? And at that moment, you all realize that you have food on the tables in front of you. And C18N looks around. I think all of your food has been consumed. This is either a hoax or someone is really hungry this morning.
Starving.
The small goblin leans around. You can come back. You can talk to them. Come back later. I'll figure out where this food goes. I'll meet you on the road if, It's not a hoax, sir! And you hear him stomp into the kitchen.
Thank you. I turn to the two new people and I'm like, well, we're pretty new in town too, but if you want to help, I'm sure we could use extra hands.
We'd love to.
Okay. We didn't know we were gonna go today anyways, so adventure.
Shopping?
All right, so I'll lead us out the door. Come on, Elowen. And start. Does it seem like the blacksmith or the armor dude is closer?
You do see a couple signs. You do see an armor smith, a really nice wooden plaque hanging out, and like just behind it is the blacksmith. So it seems like a nice little area where some of these artisans have worked together. They might even share forges behind as well.
Like a collective?
Cool.
Like a collective, yes. But as you're starting out the door, C18N does not follow. You hear a couple clunks behind, and the door swings open. It appears my leg has seized. I'm running out of essence needed to keep powering me. I will sit here for some time. And the door starts closing back up, and you hear a thud as he sits down in a chair, and you see through the window that he's sitting at the table.
Okay.
Well, I'm
It's gonna be
nothing.
okay.
I guess we better be quick.
I don't really know about that. I've never heard of them before.
I don't know how I feel about living metal, but he seems in pain, so. I'm Rosalind, by the way.
Jocelyn, I'm Tana.
Ralmos.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Bixby Lufalo. I'm a ranger. This right here is Mick. He is a fox.
And that's about all you need to know.
Yep.
That's Elowen. She doesn't talk much. Watch your things.
Oh, I thought you meant that.
You say watch my.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to steal.
Nothing?
I've got nothing. Sorry.
The silent hooded
Just like-
rogue standing in the back. You can see eyes everyone briefly to understand what is in their packs.
And
Now,
wait, is that Elowen in the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought there was a different figure. You're the one with like smoke coming out of your hood?
Yeah.
it's a mist.
It's the
Okay.
edge. The edge
It's
of
draping
my
off of the
cloak
hood.
is like misty.
Oh.
The bottom.
I was like, somebody's like, she's got like a real, whoever back there had like a really, really involved pipe going on, and it was just like a fog machine coming out of their face or something. I was like,
No.
we're gonna talk
It's-
about this?
The edges of the cloak
It was-
are misty.
Okay, cool.
It was a suit of armor with a few embers in the feet.
Oh no.
No. You heard correctly, and it is the silent figure that has followed you out that they keep referring to as Elowen. Now, as you've walked out and
What?
had your greetings, and you look down the road, exactly 2 minutes from when the goblin had said everything would be opening, the shop doors open on the blacksmith, the armor smith, the bowyer across the road, and a shop just
What?
a little bit further. Every time, the bowyer, the bow maker.
Oh, I didn't know
Everybody
what that
knows
was.
Yes.
that.
The boy.
Yeah, the bow maker.
The girl.
Yeah. But in synchronous, 3 of those doors open up, and it seems like the owners of the shops have walked out, and they are in sync, opening up their windows and starting the day and really getting everything in order. A couple moments later, as the shops are opening, a couple of the other doors open up. A kid comes running out of one of the shops and sets up a sign, and it seems to be a clothing shop. Another one of the shops, you see a leather maker come walking out, wiping a towel in his hands, looking around, and he really just takes in the morning air. But they weren't as well synchronized as the first three.
Artificer? Anybody an artificer?
As you call out, most of the shopkeepers kind of look at you and shake their heads as if they're unsure what you're looking for.
Magic person who fixes metal people.
A kid runs up. Metal people. Where are they? I want to see metal people. I've never seen metal people.
I go to the
The
restaurant.
metal person is injured and tired. You'll have to see him when he's better, which means we need to find an artificer. A metal doctor?
A metal doctor for metal people? Oh, that's just. I'm gonna go tell my friends about metal people. I thought they were joking with me. And he runs off.
Well, that hasn't helped.
No,
Maybe we
didn't
should
help.
go to a magic shop?
Good idea. Look
Huh?
around for a magic shop?
Do we see a magic shop anywhere?
You do see at the far end of the street, there's a little shop that has a sign that looks like a stack of books. And on that stack of books, you see some symbols on each of the books. So you'd assume this would be either a library or a magical location.
By symbols,
start
do you mean letters?
No, they're not letters. They're
Okay.
other. They might be letters in other languages, but to you see symbols. You don't see anything that's.
Speak a lot of languages.
You speak a lot of languages. Do you speak an Elvish dialect of Draconic?
No.
Okay. It's not that either.
Doesn't speak it, he just reads it.
It's like speaking German with a Spanish accent.
I can't even. We'll discuss that after the
All right,
show.
later.
Yep, okay.
As you approach the front, it's very dark inside. One of the windows is all fogged up on the front, as if it had a candle burning in it at some time. And then the front door is cracked open with a little sign tilted that does say open on it.
I'll go in there.
Sure.
As you open the front door and it creaks, there's a mustiness of books that meets your nose. It's a smell unlike any other, as these books are quite old. You see cobwebs hanging from a couple of the shelves. Off to the right, as you look in, you do see the bookshelves stop and a few small tables with vials and items sit. Most of those things are quite dusty themselves. The floors are swept fairly clean through the walkways. Dust does pile up against a few of the shelves. And in the back, you hear a voice. Ah! Welcome! Come on in! Come on in!
Excuse me, we're looking for some information about an artificer. Would you happen to have any or know where we could find some? One?
An older human male steps out. Oh, and artificers have been long gone for many years. Why would you be looking for an artificer now?
We're just trying to help out a friend.
Oh, well, if your friend's looking for some research, there's probably a book somewhere over. Oh, that one! And he points to a very small, very worn book. Only could be about 15 pages in length. He pulls out the thin book and dusts it off. You see a diagram on the front that does look similar to the metal man that you had met in the inn. This is the one that talks about they're really strange things that they do, but take a look. It's up for sale. As you open it up, dust billows out. The pages are quite old, and they almost crack under your fingers. This parchment seems to be 200 plus years old, based on other books you've encountered.
It's almost as old as me.
I asked the man, where did they go?
Well,
The artificers.
well, see, they weren't very out in the open here. They were just kept in the high castles on the main island that is now a sinkhole in the ocean. That happened about 50 years ago, and most of the artificers they drowned. And he kind of puts his head down. I knew 2 of them. They were good friends of mine.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's no matter. They've been gone for years, and the book does detail some of their strange things they built, but I don't think you'll find much of those because I think they all sank or drowned with. But
How much?
oh, it's been on my shelf for years. 3 silver's all I need to get some space back up there.
And I just put a gold piece down and I say, to keep the shop open.
Oh, very
Support
kind
local
of you.
business.
Support
Do
local
I
business.
see anything? What do I see near me?
What do you
I'm
see
probably
near you?
hanging back there.
There's a bunch of books, but if you've wandered around to some of the vials and some of the items, you see a couple quills that look like they've been sitting in their inkwells for many, many years. Probably stuck to the inkwell. Some of the vials have some really dehydrated potions in there, so they're little gooey messes in the bottom. There's a bright purple, there's a bright pink, there's a couple like greenish blues throughout. There's a couple cobwebs hanging between. There's a few vials up near what seems to be the counter that the old man was sitting at, and they're a little bit more recently moved. They're about half full with very, very clear, sparkly liquids.
Can I take one? I'll roll.
Do you want to take one? Do you
Well,
want to
yeah.
buy one? What-
No. I saw
No.
him put a gold down, and he asked for 3 silver, so I'm gonna take a thing.
All right, you can roll to see if you want to swipe it.
Yeah,
I guess
sparkling shop owner.
if anyone is wanting to try to perceive any of this, you may. As you see Elowen walking about.
Yeah, it's a 30.
What?
Sleight of hand, right?
Sleight of hand, yeah.
Yeah, that's a 30.
I got a 10. With our powers combined,
With the powers of the shopkeeper's 17 and the 10, no one
And my nat 20?
notices. And your nat 20. Oof. What is your perception added on top of that?
My passive perception is 17.
but you got up to a 27.
Oh, 27, yeah.
Since you don't believe me,
I see
there's
that.
the number and my modifier.
Oh man, you've decked that one out. Yeah, she did have a legitimate 30. Rosalind, you notice only that Elowen does kind of shift her
I am
cloak a bit.
always suspicious.
Always suspicious.
At this point, I will assume something has been taken.
You just don't know what, where, or when.
Exactly.
But no one else notices. The shopkeep is rambling on about a few of the other books on the shelves, about some of the
I
local
give her the
flora and
side
fauna.
eye.
You give her the side eye. Elowen is
I don't care.
doing her thing, doesn't care. And the old man ends up stopping and looks around. Well, is there any other books that you'd like to find while you're here?
I think this
Not
would
unless you have more.
I've got lots of books everywhere.
Well, we've
Sorry,
got to
I
go
meant
with our
more
friends.
about the artifice.
There's nothing more about them. But I do have one thing. And he goes and he shuffles through a bunch of things behind the desk, and you hear some clunking and it seems like a key and a little lockbox and a little bit of jingling, and out comes a copper piece that he sets down. It's a very old copper piece. The engravings are not like the ones that you see in your pocket. This is given to me by my friend, and he pokes the copper piece like it's a button. And as he does, you hear, "I've missed you, dear friend. We should keep up together in letters." And then it cuts off.
What is that?
Well, this is one of the coins that was imbued by an artificer, and they can only imbue so many things, and because it still works, it must mean the creator's around somewhere.
The creator's around?
Somewhere, he can be anywhere. They send these things in posts and couriers, and it was a party trick to send messages to loved ones.
Did this coin lead us to him?
I'm not sure, but you can have it. It's been sitting in my lockbox for many years.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have one other book I might be interested in.
Yes.
Do you have any books that would assist me in learning Abyssal, the language?
Oh, why would you want to learn such a foul tongue?
Yeah.
For knowledge's sake? Knowledge's sake?
Never mind, I shouldn't have asked that question, but we do have one here. And he pulls out a book, and it's got a little lock on it, and he rustles through his pocket and unlocks it. I don't want to look in this one, but you may have it for 6 silver.
Once again, a gold. I hope the shop stays. I'm being generous because I've seen the old inkwells and, the dusty, vials all over the place. So, and you just give him another gold.
It's very kind of you, visitor. Do come back. If you find a book on my shelves that you wish, just let me know. I owe you a book. Or 3.
Okay, so we've got a talking coin that might work in getting us closer to it. Oh, wait, just real quick, you don't happen to have like a yellow pages, do you? Or the white pages?
A lot of the pictures have yellow.
Some of the newer books are a little bit more white and they yellow a bit as they age. This is a new book up here, and you see a binding that's quite clean. That's gonna be the whitest pages, and he looks around, and that book over there, and you see a binding that's nearly fallen off. That'll be the yellowest pages in my selection.
I think we're good for now. Thank you. And I head for the door.
Is that just a known thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Every year we get a book on our doorstep.
Do I
A free
know
book?
what that potion
Free
is?
book. Not very entertaining. Pretty much the same as the year before. Never mind.
A gnomish cultural thing.
Yep.
There we go. Whoever is holding the thin book that was about the metallic men, it is called The Artificer's Secret. And then the abyssal book is Languages of the Unknown, is what it's called.
All right. I'm ready to go.
Cool. We'll start heading back, maybe towards like the blacksmith. Anything? Who has the book? Was that?
I thought you had the book.
I put it here just so I could artifact it. I was leaving it just in case somebody else wanted to hold it.
You can, I mean, I don't really read all that much.
Should we flip through and see if there's anything?
I think it's worth
Yeah,
investigating.
I think that's a great idea.
We read.
As you read, and you're standing out in the open, looking at the pages together, you do notice that a few of the pages do talk about some of the things artificers are able to create. You see a diagram of a small bird, a mechanical bird that seems to be able to take flight on its own. It's got a few little specs and notes on it saying that only a handful of these were made, but they should last indefinitely as long as their magical sources are given. There's a couple other pages that talk about something like the coin, but it doesn't show a coin. It shows other objects, a vase and a book and a few other things saying that you can get imbued items for short times, such as sending messages or giving light or various other things. And you see another page that says the real POTUS resubbed for the 11th time, and you have no idea what that means other than we're so close to getting a new hype boss.
Because Super Pollo Loco threw in a follow there. So
Yeah,
the
so-
hype boss is literally like 26.
There's one page that talks about this weird Twitch place where Super Pollo Loco and the real POTUS exist to influence the world. And you continue to flip forward, and there's one page that does say humanoids with metal ? Wood ? And then it's torn down the page. You do see a bit of a face that looks very similar to the man you had met in the bar. And as you flip to the other side, this is the last page in the book that isn't torn out. It seems there's a couple pages that have been torn, but there's some markings and etchings in the back of the book as if someone had written on the pages while they were still in existence.
Who rips a page out of a book? That's like ripping a flower out of the ground.
You paid a gold for half a book?
I think people take flowers out of the ground all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
they belong to the earth.
You're not wrong.
Grow back.
They grow back,
Not
she
that
says.
one. Anyways.
Somebody put in like an address. How do you find a person that you don't know who they are without an electronic device that tells you where they are?
Should we try poking the coin again?
Go for it.
Who has the coin?
Erwin, did you take the fake money, real money, talking money,
I thought you had it.
Why would I take fake money?
so that you could give
Well,
it as
technically-
payment for
And-
something?
As Aloan puts her hands in her pockets, you hear the muffled voice in her pocket of the same exact message
Give it
that
back.
was said inside.
Money.
I didn't take it.
I hold out a hand.
Aloan, you find it in your pocket?
I didn't take it.
Subconsciously? As Aloan's getting attacked by her magical hound here. And as the coin comes back out, it says the exact same message, the exact same way, and gets cut off at the same spot. It seems as if someone was talking to a friend when they imbued this coin.
And you said there was like indents as if somebody had written, but they were indents from writing on the pages that had been ripped out, yes?
Yeah, you noticed that it almost seemed as if someone had taken a note or scribbled something down before ripping the pages out.
Does anybody have any charcoal?
There's dirt.
I mean, we could light a torch and let it burn for a little while.
I mean, I've got a tinderbox and torches. I don't have charcoal though. You might be able to get a bit of charcoal from the blacksmith. Just borrow a lump of coal. We'll crush it real quick.
Okay.
Go to the
I
blacksmith.
figure we could lightly rub it and see if, you can see what they wrote.
Good idea. Our new friends are smart.
They're smart. We should keep them around a little bit.
I know.
Okay.
How many tieflings, so this is head off too, how many tieflings have y'all encountered in your life?
These characters.
You'd be... Wait, who am I?
Who am I?
I mean... Bigsby's encountered... Bless you. A lot of things. So... Nothing... I mean... There was that Dragonborn. There was that other Dragonborn. Which, again, there were two of those. There was... a furry halfling.
Well, this is probably the first time you've seen a tiefling with golden eyes. My eyes are not, like, all black or, like, metallic in that way. They're gold.
Nice.
Just careful. Erwin's gonna try and steal your eyes.
Oh, no.
in
Get
this
some ersatz eyes.
They
You
don't
have
even know
beautiful eyes,
me.
by the way.
in this world, tieflings, goblins, kobolds, orcs, they're a little bit more prevalent. They're still a little looked down upon, but they're not scorned as they would be in, say, Faerun.
Okay.
So,
We should go check with the guy who made your weapons. Maybe he does magic
He
with
might
metal
be the one-
things.
I think
And
he
he'll
can
have people.
recharge it.
At very least, maybe he can keep him operational until we find something more significant.
Yeah.
Again, smart new friends.
These
Okay, we'll
codes.
head towards magic metal guy.
magic
Well, we
metal
want-
guy.
Yeah. Sorry. There's
Is
two
his
of
name
them.
Mike?
To the magic man.
Magic.
Can
Mike.
his name be Magic Mike?
The guy that I just said we're gonna go talk to.
But then you said you were gonna. It's fine. It's just there's the guy who works with metal in a magic way, and the guy who is magically metal.
When I said we should go talk to the guy who
Fine.
made your sword.
So we
As-
go to the blacksmith.
As you're bickering under the armorsmith and blacksmith signs, the small boy runs past. Metalmen exist, and he just runs away past. And it breaks up the bickering, and you find yourself standing under the blacksmith sign. The door is propped open. A nice warm breeze is coming through the shop, and you see through the shop as all of the weaponry hanging and placed on tables. In the back, there is a forge that is being used, and you can hear metal being banged upon and the sizzle as they drop it into the water. It seems that there's quite a bit of activity in the back, creating new weapons. And when you step inside, a burly dwarven man stands behind the desk, and he's polishing a blade with such fine detail. He's even got a magnifying glass attached to his head, and he's looking very closely. Oh, they left a little nick here. I'm gonna have to send it to the back. Hello, I'll get to you in just a second. I'm just finishing this piece.
Is it a rapier? What is he working on?
It's a short sword, but you do see there's a few different swords of various varieties hanging behind the counter. There's some short swords, there's some daggers, there's a few rapiers, there's a few long swords as well, all unique to each style. You do see different carvings in the hilts. Blades are shaped a little bit differently. It seems like there's a handful of craftsmen that work here.
While we're waiting on him, I'd like to just start perusing, start touching things, picking them up.
Yeah, as you're
seeing how they feel.
I'll be trying out a couple of the rapiers, looking at them.
Yeah. As you're looking at all the weaponry, picking things up and touching items, and I'm assuming trying to see if anything else is imbued. There's no messages or anything out of the ordinary that shows up. But as you're looking through, you do notice that there's a few older pieces that have some very ornate, very, I guess, geometric designs that match similar things that might have been in the book. You saw some similar patterns that were on the bird, on a handle of a sword that is in a glass case sitting in the back. And that one's locked up. Aloan is picking up a few of the rapiers and trying them out. There's a couple that are quite heavy-handed in the hilt, and a few that are balanced just perfectly that you're able to spin in your hand and they feel as if there's no weight to them whatsoever. There's a shop pup that's running around and gnawing on shoelaces and causing all sorts of trouble, but every time you each try to reach down to it, it runs off in another direction, and it seems that it's there to just chase vermin away, or electronic cables. The shopkeeper eventually looks up and goes, So what brings you in today? I see
And I
you.
just set the book down.
If you're looking to sell books, across the road is where.
There's a metal man at the fancy inn, and he needs some help. He's like bleeding oil.
Well,
I pull out the coin and press it.
as you pull out the coin and press it, the man's eyes widen. We don't deal in those magics here. We just have weaponry of all sorts of... What is it you're looking for?
Someone to help
Art.
heal our friend.
Artificer.
Artificer.
We do have a blade that was created by artificers or whatever you want to call them in the back in the case. That one's 5,000 gold pieces if you wish to purchase. It's said to control all sorts of magical beasts, but those beasts no longer roam, I guess. It didn't respond when the man brought it in to sell.
Can I touch it?
Yes, but under supervision. Let me
Okay.
come back there with you. And he
I've
hobbles
got
back.
pretty good vision.
He hobbles back and fumbles through his keys and finally finds one that unlocks the case and opens it up. Remember, it's 5,000 gold, so if you
For a sword
break
that
it, you
don't
buy it.
work
How did she
on
break the sword?
enemies that don't exist
hell?
anymore.
Well,
Can I pick it up?
you may. Pick it up.
Okay. I want to pick it up and look at it and bring it really close to my ear. Say, hello?
I don't know what you're expecting. As you put it up to your ear, there's a small hum that the blade emits, but it seems to be a constant hum, not in response to you in any way.
I take the coin and I hold it up close to it and push it.
As you start to put the coin up towards it, the dwarven man puts his hand up. Don't put metal on metal. You'll scratch it.
I'm not gonna touch it. I just want to see if they talk to each other.
Have you lot been drinking the brew at the inn? I hear there's a very strong brew that might.
Us lot are the ones who saved your town from ghosts, so a little respect, please.
But if you've had too many drinks, then I wouldn't let you touch the weaponry. So a little respect, please.
Wouldn't do that either.
Miss, if you like one of those blades, and he points over to Eloan, just bring it up to the counter, and we can make some trades. And he, out of the corner of his eye, he sees you playing with a few more of the weapons, and he keeps an eye on you, seeing how nimbly your fingers move across the weaponry to ensure that you don't walk off with one of his pieces.
They're a little off balance.
Well, maybe you're off balance. To each their own. Their blades made for the user. Short stuff.
Yes. You say someone brought in this sword, right?
About 30 years ago, I do have paperwork for it.
Could we see that? Because I think that might be the guy we're looking for.
Well, let me go find it. Let me fetch someone, because I don't trust this one up front. She's very nimble, and I do see a lot of folds in her cloak that she could stash things. And he snaps a few fingers, and a younger dwarf with a much shorter beard comes in, and he whispers something into his ear, and the younger dwarf looks back around.
And charcoal?
I've got some over on the counter. We'll get to that. And he hurries the younger dwarf off, and peeking around the corner. This box over here, sir. Yes, the one furthest in the back, the oldest records. And as the younger dwarf runs off, a goblin rushes in. You wanted some charcoal? I heard. You wanted charcoal? And the goblin tosses it up on the countertop, and it's still quite warm, as if he had just reached in and grabbed a bit.
I am resistant to fire damage.
And he walks out like rubbing his hand and continues to go work in the back.
I'll wait until it's not hot to rub it on the old paper.
Such smart new friends.
Oh.
I was definitely going to use it immediately.
The DM's always looking for ways to burn the books that give you the answers.
It's true.
You got me there.
And then I'm gonna toss it in the air, and a little bluish translucent hand is gonna catch it and hold it for me while I wait for it to cool. Mage hand.
Oh.
Is it like a tiny mage hand?
Yeah, well, I think it's. I mean,
It's more of like
it's spectral
mage
floating
fingers.
hand. So I mean,
Maybe it's a huge hint.
maybe it's it's just
It's just
Yeah.
it's a
giant-
baby Bigby.
It's a baby Bigsby hand just up there.
Yeah.
And
Not
somehow
the charcoal.
somehow you know that hand's attached to a mustachioed specter somewhere.
Right.
I look at the hand and I just say, or I don't even say anything, but I'm like, that looks familiar.
As the charcoal cools, the dwarven man walks up to Elowen. Is there a blade that you wish to purchase or trade for?
I mean, maybe. What's your best offer?
Well, we've got quite a few of these blades. Which do you prefer? The lighter handle, the heavier handle, the one that's got all of the gems encrusted on it hanging behind the desk? Any strike your fancy here?
Which one am I holding?
You're holding one that is evenly balanced. The end is quite sharp. It shines very brightly, brighter than any of the other blades. And as he looks at it, he goes, that one is the sharpest of them all. It does a little more damage, but it costs just a little bit more.
So,
This one? Alright, well, do you have gold to trade or weaponry you wish to depart from your service?
well, what's your offer?
Well, this
How
one
many times
is
do I have to ask
this
you?
one is I'd say it's about 53 gold is what the boys in the back valued it at.
The boys in the back. Do they fight with rapiers? This one's dull and unbalanced.
Well, I can get it polished and balanced for you for another 10 gold.
Rude.
Yeah, how dare you expect money in return for your efforts, sir?
Well, if you wish to talk about that more, we can discuss that after we get the records here. Continue to play around with them and understand what strikes your fancy.
Would my short sword be worth?
I think that would be worth 3 to 5 gold.
Probably a copper.
A copper. 10?
A high five.
If you were to buy it, I don't know the sale value though.
It's you.
It's always less.
Used,
The
yeah.
minute you buy it, the value.
Walk out of the shop, it's 50% the value. Easy.
Mhm.
Man.
It's probably connected to a murder somewhere, so.
To the records.
As he hears that, murder weapons. We take those and store them in the back room, and you see there's a locked room that has a bunch of weapons, a few of them with a few drops of blood still on some of the weaponry. We trust that these were used for murders and not for normal battles, but that's the scary doom room. One of our blacksmiths decides that he might one day be able to bring back souls of the dead or whatever, so he's paying top dollar for those creepy blades. Is yours a murder weapon?
No, we only kill monsters. So about these records?
Yes, he should be out shortly. At this point, the charcoal is quite cooled.
It's quite cool.
I'm gonna
Quite cool.
pull out. I think I have another piece of parchment in like my traveler's. Oh, you have a scholar's pack.
I have a scholar's pack, so I definitely have.
I'd take a piece of her parchment, if you would permit. Thanks. And then I like push it nicely into it, and then start to lightly rub until I can start to try and like
Yeah.
see if I can glean what was written.
As you gently go across the parchment and try to understand what was written, you just see a bunch of numbers and letter combos. One of them you see is A11Q. You see another that is B13. You see a few others, and then they all seem to have a cross out or an X next to them. There's a couple that are left. One is Z11A, and one is C18N. Neither of those have a cross or an X next to them, but every other number, and there's about 20 or 30 numbers with crosses and X's next to them. At the very top, you get a little bit of a word that doesn't seem to be pressed in as strongly. It's ATTI, and then that's it. And then there's an N a couple spaces later.
Someone lives in an attic. The N is north because it's above you.
That's you know that's not. Oh.
So what is it that you would what are you looking for in this book?
Info on the artificer.
Well, it seems that you, and as the dwarven man leans over and looks in, it seems you have a hit list here. And he looks back across the group, and as he looks across the group, his eyes begin to glow a bit behind, almost as if they're driven by fire. And you hear a bit of metallic clinking as this dwarven man stands up a bit taller than he should. And at this moment, I need you all to roll initiative.
This was unexpected!
Can you give me the stats on the rapier I'm holding?
Yeah, it's a +1. It's a rapier with a +1
Well,
to hit and to damage. Let me get you the basics
I
of
guess
it.
I can pull it up in here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Take a look in the book. It should be in the player's handbook.
Yep, thank you.
Perfect.
Wait, so do we get the impression that he is also a
Warforged.
Yep. You get the impression that he is a Warforged, but he seems to be a bit more advanced than the one that you had met.
Aggressive. Aggressive. Sorry.
Your skull has no gymnastics team. Sorry. Sorry.
That's how you spend your first turn.
We'll bring it on for you. Oh, my first turn's gonna be a while from now. That's fine.
All right. Now, we're going to go in alphabetical order. Bigsby Lufalu.
I have a 15.
1-5.
Yep.
Perfect. Aloan.
23.
23. McCulJ.
7.
And we did see earlier, POTUS said that Michael J. Fox ripped out pieces in the phone book. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yep. I know. Coincidence?
So sorry, it was 7 that you had for Michael J?
Yeah, Mick's got a 7.
7. Rosalind.
That would be a 3.
Good night. What? You rolled a 1 on your initiative?
Yeah, I don't really want to fight a Warforged. Like, we're trying to help them.
Tana.
Heat metal.
16.
16. And it looks like I need to re-add our tiefling friend here. Dear tiefling, sir, come back. See, when you go digital, these things just sometimes don't work.
Really quick, guys. I just think we need to make this like a really good, fun battle for Crossbones, who went to make a $300 car payment and decided to accidentally pay off the whole note of almost $34,000. So the bank account is a little light at the moment. Been there. I mean, not there exactly, but wow.
Well,
At least
POTUS
it's-
almost made somebody's day tipping $600 yesterday.
All I can say, Crossbones, is at least it's paid off? Let's see. We have Rolmos. What is your initiative, sir?
17.
17. Alrighty, players.
Thanks, everybody. Oh, thanks. That's what.
Oh, I thought it was a Wakanda Forever. It
Oh,
made me
sorry.
sad.
Wakanda forever.
As you see this dwarven man turn into a bit more taller, human-esque shape, you hear clinks and clanks, and as his body shifts a bit, you see bright, shiny metals underneath what seemed to be was skin is actual just plating that was on top of this Warforged. The face shifts a little bit, and it still continues to have the beard, but you do see a bit more metallic-y stripes through the face as the face even takes shape similar to C18N that you'd met earlier. At the top of the turn order, we have Aloan, who is a little bit further back in this shop, playing with the rapier, and then suddenly stops and notices what is going on with the rest of the group.
So I'm first, yeah?
You're first. You have a very narrow approach if you were to run up. Most everyone is around this man who's standing at the end of the counter.
Okay.
You go, puppy.
But I recognize what's happening.
You recognize what's going on.
Cool.
The whole vibe in the room changes, especially when you hear a few gasps and some clanks and clunks, and see now the shopkeeper taller than he should be.
Cool. So I guess I attack. Are anybody close?
Most of the party is near him. Within
Like
a few
how?
feet.
Like within a few feet?
5 to 7 feet. Yeah, most of them.
Well,
are
if they're
around.
5, I can use my.
Well, there's a whole party. They're within 5 to 7 feet, most of them.
Okay. So I am going to do that. I'm gonna attack. I have my sneak attack damage
How are you attacking?
with my rapier. I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
you're gonna rush up.
Well, with the rapier, I'm
Yep.
holding, yeah. Is that leaning? I think that's leaning.
I can't see it from this angle, so it's probably leaning.
It looks like. Oh, that's a nat 20.
First real dice roll.
Guess I
Good
gotta
check.
re-roll it.
I saw her. She swapped. This one has 20s on every side.
So
Blacksmith craft dice. No.
So
Yeah,
the
exactly
rapier is a
what you
D8. Does that mean I get an additional 2 8s or additional 2 D6s?
You get the base damage, and then you roll your additional damage, and then you add your sneak attack on top.
Okay.
But your sneak attack is what, 3d6 right now?
Yes.
So you get your base rapier damage, which is 8 plus 1, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so you're at 9.
And then.
Then roll a d8, add 1 to that roll.
So it's a 5.
A 5 total there. Okay, so you're at 14.
4, 5, 8.
8, so you're at 22. So as you rush up and you're able to poke the rapier through, you get right between a few of the plates of this transforming Warforged in front of you, and you feel that the blade sinks in a little bit easier than, say, a not so shiny rapier. Some sparks do fly, and you do notice that you've kind of nicked a plate as it was coming up, and it sputters a little bit. Ramos.
Ramos is going to whisper something into a lovely-looking little dagger that he pulls out of his belt, and then he throws it behind the creature.
Okay.
And it floats in the air and attacks it.
All right. Please roll to attack.
What? It does what?
It floats in the air. 25 to hit.
That hits.
Nothings.
And this is magical piercing damage.
Yep.
That is a total of 8 magical piercing.
8 magical piercing. All right.
And I'm going to stay kind of opposite, so we've kind of got like, dagger behind, other one on the left and me on the right, so like a little triangle formation around this guy.
There you go.
And I'm going to, I guess I can't, no. I guess I already drew a weapon, so
Yep.
how do you guys rule with that?
So since you drew a weapon, it would take a full action to draw another one.
Okay.
But what you had done was a bonus action, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think you could try and slap the guy. I mean, you're right there. If you don't want to slap at him, then put your hand in ready for your next turn.
I mean, I'll burn my full action to draw another weapon.
All right, there you go. So you've drawn your weapon for your next turn, and you're out of options other than moving.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tana, it is your turn as you see this dagger fly up behind and start slicing at the back of this enemy.
I would like to cast
Magic missile. It hits. Roll for damage.
Great. The first one is 3.
All right.
Second is 5. And third is 5.
All right, 13 points of damage. You let loose these missiles, and as they twist out of your hands, another one strikes a plate that's shifting on this man, and that plate kind of sticks in place and doesn't move up, leaving a little bit of open mechanical motion behind where that plate was supposed to move. Bigsby Lufalu, I see you're grinning there, as it is now your turn.
I just love it when a plan comes together. And by that, I mean, we just fight randomly a person that we weren't expecting to. Bigsby's gonna just be like, so excited, because he just got his scimitars back. So he pulls them out with a bit of a flourish. And, I guess, he tries to move to another side of the guy. I don't know if there's anything in the way.
You're in actually a more open area just near the counter, so there's pretty much open space around this enemy.
Perfect. So I'm gonna do with my first of 2 attacks. I'm gonna slice with the 2 swords.
Okay.
So that will be. Let us see. Well, no one knows where that one went. So one of the swords is a 17. The other is an 18.
To hit, the 18 hits. The 17 does not.
18 hits. So that's going to be.
Found the armor class.
Oh shoot! I forgot to use my bonus action ahead of time. Oh well, it's fine. The first one is going to be 6 points of damage from the scimitar, and then 2 points of force damage.
All right.
And now we will do second attack. Both will miss.
Both will miss. As your first attack goes through, one of the scimitars bounces off of the plating. The other one scrapes across and dents a part of the plate with the force attack, exposing a little bit of the gearing underneath. And the second attack, you slice across the plates. I don't know how badly you missed, but hopefully it wasn't too incredibly.
It wasn't a 1.
Okay.
I would tell you if I critically failed.
All right. As you're all making attacks, this creature suddenly locks in, and all of the plates just kind of suck in as they had stopped their moving, and it gets into more of its battle form, missing a couple plates, and a few of them are dented across the chest. So you did keep him from becoming fully metallically shielded, but he looks around and his eyes are glowing bright red even more, and as he looks around, a high-pitched note comes ringing out of his mouth as he opens it up. I need each of you to roll a Constitution check, or a Constitution save for me, please.
20 win.
21. I saw a 22 with Glenn.
18.
18.
14.
14.
14 for Bigsby, 13 for Mick.
Bigsby, Tana, and McCall instantly feel that that sound pierce to the point where it makes them sick, and you begin throwing up and are doubled over. So until your next turn, you have disadvantage on attack, and you have disadvantage on saves.
Joke's on this guy. I just puked on his feet.
Okay, so you've puked on his feet, and,
Rust.
and until this guy's next turn, you are still puking on his feet, I guess. Just all of your breakfast is coming up, all 3 plates of it. McCall is puking and gagging, so he has disadvantage on attack, but he can still try to attack if you think he would.
Yeah, he's gonna at least try it.
He biting.
He'll run up. At the very least, he's gonna try and puke on this guy too. He starts puking on him. He's like, if I can't bite him, I will hurt him. He critically failed.
Oh no!
My good dice rolled underneath me.
Can you roll me a d4?
Yeah. Okay, that's a 1.
It's a 1. That looks like it's actually going to go at Ralmos. Ralmos, the fox does kind of leap and catches you on the shoulder and bites with his pukey puppy mouth. And can you roll damage and half it for me?
Yes, I can. Oh my gosh! I just rolled max damage! I've never done that with me! So that's gonna be 7 points of damage.
7. Wow, it was 14 points.
Yes!
Wow.
That's a big
So
fight.
the riding
Friendly fire, but it's more like friendly.
The riding wolf, or the riding fox, latches onto your shoulder and does 7 points of damage.
Sorry.
Sorry, Ralmos.
It's Mick's fault.
It's
Not yours.
Mick's fault. Rosalind, you aren't caught by this sound, but you hear it and it's irritating, and you see that it's affecting a few of your party.
Yeah. So, Rosalind had just spent time learning a new spell.
Okay.
So I'm gonna focus on the hottest things I can think of, and I'm gonna cast Heat Metal.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and just do that at 3rd level.
Okay.
I'd say you'd attempt to save, but I don't know how you would drop that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
No save.
Drop your whole body. Just drop it now and die.
all of
Like that.
all of the armor plating falls off.
He's Nike. Okay, 8. Oh, this one.
Those gears are much smaller than I expected.
This one. Okay. Oh, I just rolled damage, right? This is a new
Just
spell
roll
for me.
damage. Yep.
Yeah.
Because there is no save for this one.
So that'll be 14 points of damage.
14 points of fire damage, correct?
Of fire damage, and then you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of my next turn.
So how does it feel?
Ow. All right. As you see the body of this beast glow a bit more molten red, you do see that on the arms from about elbow down, it doesn't glow, and it does seem to be a bit more of like a porcelain or a glass plating, as he does work with hot metals.
Right, and I want to call out, we're trying to help your kind. What's wrong with you?
All right.
Yeah.
You call that out, for sure. He looks around and focuses on your voice as you yell at him. but says nothing. Elowen, top of the turn order. It is you.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
You're gonna just stab at him again?
Stabby.
All right. There are a couple plates that are dented and missing. If you wish to try for one of those, it will add 2 to the armor class. If not, you can just attack.
Just attack.
Okay.
9 plus 8 is 17.
17. You ricochet just slightly off of the metal. You do notice that you're very, very close. To quickly, between Aloan's turn and Ralmos's turn, we do allow multi-classing. None of our players have done multi-classing yet. It is something that is out of the handbooks, and you can do it. It can be fun and it can be stupid. So take a look online. There's some great things you can do with multi-classing, and some terrible, terrible things when you're a level or 2 or 3 behind the rest of your party.
You gotta get
Jared.
to the point to take the option.
Yes?
Did you just describe our show?
Yes.
It can be fun and it can be stupid.
Yes, yes. I mean, we don't have multi-classing yet, but in the main line, we could probably see someone in a Bill Murray build taking another class for some reason. Yeah.
Little Zika shoe inspiration.
Take a look online. There's a lot of videos from a lot of creators that talk about it. It's fun until it isn't, so we'll see how that goes. Awesome. Now, Ramos' turn.
Ramos is going to see that what they're doing is sort of counterintuitive, as we're damaging another one of these things. And he's going to pull the dagger towards myself using my bonus action, so it's no longer like behind him in an aggressive stance, have it sheathe itself, and I'm going to put my weapon on the ground and say, we came here looking for an artificer. We met C18N. We're trying to help him.
All right.
And I'm just going to put my hands up like this.
As you say that, he quickly looks to you and tilts his head just a little bit. Says nothing yet. Tana, it is your turn, as you're under the effect of the violent screech and hurling on the floor.
Do I need to make a con save?
No, it only affected you on the first turn. You're just at disadvantage right now.
Okay. I'm going to start walking toward the entrance of the shop, trying to get away from him, so that hopefully this will stop ringing and I'll start to feel better.
You make a mess across the shop, but you do start feeling better as you're making your way out. Some of the shiny blades are a little less shiny at the moment, but you're feeling a little better getting away from it. Bigsby, sir.
I'm so confused.
Bigsby, that.
So confused. Yes, the Shield of Destiny called me a hot thing, so
He will
agreed.
remember that.
But I feel like I'm like, look, I don't always hurt things, but when they hurt me and have evil glowing eyes and started it, kind of, I hurt things. So I guess on each, I'm gonna try to attack again and have disadvantage every single time. I have to roll at disadvantage 4 times. So let's try the first blade. Will miss. The second blade. Oh! Will miss, but one of them was a nat 20. Second attack. Will miss. 3s and 2s. A lot of 3s and 2s.
Well, you are cooking your breakfast up, and
Soft 20.
on your low.
On my low.
Wow. So as you're swinging wildly, not how you'd normally attack, a blade finally hits and cracks one of the plates on the forearm. Unlike the metal, which you'd expect to dent, you do see it crack and shatter a little bit, as it is a different material. You have made a mess of the floor and of your enemy, but you're doing all right with one of 4 strikes.
Oh, and hey, that'll be 10 points of slashing damage and 2 points of force damage for you.
You shatter that plate then.
Use the force, Bigsby.
And you see what seems to be a porcelain fall to the floor at this point. All right.
A porcelain?
Yeah, on the forearm, he had porcelain plating. So now, as it is this transformed creature, Warforged, turn, he looks around and says, "You've met C18N. Where is he?" And he
Don't tell him! Don't tell him!
The end.
He slowly starts pulling the plating back and shrinks down a bit closer to his dwarven cover and looks around. So you're saying that he's in the inn?
No.
I hear no's and yeses.
Are we out of initiative?
You're out of initiative at the moment, yes.
Why did you attack us?
Well, there is a list you have here. It seems to be a hit list for the Wandering Battalion.
Who are they?
We just
It's
bought
not
this.
our list. Didn't you see us with charcoal?
Yeah, we just got this. I put 2 and 2 together. You're a robot or something. Think with a brain, man.
Well, the hit...
He doesn't have a brain.
I
Oh, he
didn't have
doesn't-
to think we're trying to help a friend who was injured. Tell us about this wandering battalion.
The Wandering Battalion is, some of the last of the Warforged from the Old Kingdom. Ones that, stopped following commands, and they have been hunted for some time. This is a list of some of their serial numbers. There's maybe a dozen or so that aren't on the list, and you see him mechanically move through the list. Yes, about 14 to be precise.
Do you know whose list this is and who would want to be hunting them? And how we can help him? Can you help him? You told us you couldn't help him, but can you really help him?
Well, if you're looking to repair an outlaw Warforged, you need to find the one who created him, and that coin resembles the calling card of such a criminal.
Criminal? Like, so are we looking for the good guys or the bad guys? I don't know.
C118N seemed very polite. He didn't seem like a criminal.
He didn't attack us.
She has a point.
What was the other name on that thing? The Z.
Z11A.
Are you Z11A?
I am not, and my designation is 8175811.
8175811.
Is that on the list?
No, you don't see any in that form. It seems like a different form of designations here.
A different creator or something, probably. Yeah.
Oh, no letters.
So who's the criminal? Because we need to find him, criminal or not.
Well, if there's any members of this battalion that have not been dispatched of, as well as their creator, they're all criminals.
Can I roll an insight
What did they do?
check?
It is not something we can speak of. You do not have proper clearance. You may roll an insight check, yes.
I have the button.
It's
Got the books.
A 12.
Oh, I
total.
will dispatch heat metal, by the way. You know.
Are you going to continue to heat metal, you said?
No, dispatch.
Is he still a criminal? Keep it going. Are you sure?
As you're speaking with him, Aloan did make some insight checks. she didn't see much more than what the rest of you are seeing. Very unsure of what is going on with this warring faction.
Listen, whatever kingdom you served is underground, underwater at this point, so I think we can forgive him his crimes. He doesn't deserve to die for them.
That he was searching for knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Whatever this rogue unit has or is doing is still illegal, as he is part of the old kingdom. I am not.
What kingdom are you of?
Well,
The newer one.
the kingdoms that reign as they stand. We serve whoever the leader is in power and controls our units.
Okay, so question though, if you thought that we were going to be taking C out, then why did you attack us if you thought we were taking out a criminal?
That is above your clear designation.
What if we used him to get to his creator and therefore doubled his usage in taking out a rogue unit and dealing with somebody who may be repairing and or, making more rogue units?
Oh, that's twisted.
I like the way you think. Generally, you fleshy types aren't as smart as others. But yes. Let's set a trap, as you may say.
Okay.
Yes, let us set a trap. That is what we will do.
He said his leg had seized up, so he's probably still in the inn.
No,
Well,
he said he was gonna wait.
If we're
for it.
cooperating with him, we should tell him the truth. We took him to the bookstore.
The bookstore.
That's where we got the book.
Well,
Put him there so that he would be hidden.
I will check the bookstore and have some of my unit just stop on for a beer. And he turns and mechanically walks to the back where the forges are and slams the door behind him, and you hear a lock and you hear some yelling and a hustling of feet. And through the metal barred window you see a handful of other people come from what appears to be the shops nearby and start talking to the Warforged that you just fought. Bigsby, you have a question?
Yeah, so those records that we were talking about earlier, are those kind of closer to where we are on this side of the door?
The young dwarf who was fetching the records, you do now see is shaking, holding a small box and looking around. And next to him, there's a small pool of vomit, as he was caught in the same blast that you were. And he just kind of holds the records out, and then before anyone can grab him, just drops him and bolts out the front door.
Poor kid.
Look, let's get the records. Let's get the address of the guy that we're looking for with the sword, and let's try and get C1. I'm just gonna call him Conan. Let's get Conan to that guy before, because I don't really like these artificers. These
I don't
guys.
either. I don't know who's a criminal and who's not. I think we gotta protect Conan until we know who's actually dangerous.
Thoughts?
I run over and pick up the record. And flip.
All right, as you're digging through the records and the rest of the party is now stuck in this moral dilemma, you do notice within the records, some of the oldest pages do talk about artifacts, weapons that had come from artificers. You even see that there are trades that are kind of scratched out at points, trying to be hidden, that seem to even have dealt in parts for Warforged and from Warforged. But these are dated many, many years ago. Some of them don't even have dates, but the paper is worn almost to the yellow book style, not the white pages that we were looking for earlier. So these had happened years ago, and then the newest entry, which is a handful of years after the largest set of buying and selling, is for this sword. The name is anonymous, but there was a note that said went into the first building by the library.
Okay. Do we go back and get Conan?
I really need.
While she was reading, can I have been writing out a note
Yeah,
with some more parchment from her, if that's okay?
yeah.
Just that explains that we had to borrow the sword for a little while, but we'll bring it back. And then I just want to hand it to the smoke-cloaked lady and say, I think you used this well, right?
You've got the super sword?
I got the sword now too. Or the no? I'm confused. Sorry.
Because he opened it for us to
Yeah.
look at it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the note in the glass case and close it and lock it. So we're just gonna borrow the sword for a little while.
Fair enough.
I like that idea.
Let's go.
Bigsby really quick, just because Bigsby doesn't really trust this guy. He doesn't like him. He grabs a couple daggers and kind of he grabs some daggers and puts them
Stabs himself?
no, into he's got traps, so he's got daggers and he's got the scimitars and he's
Locked and loaded.
yeah.
Bigsby, you have 6 daggers that if you write them down are question mark named. You do feel that there's a power to them. Each of them slightly different as you place them in your bandolier. Anyone else want to loot on their way out?
I was just gonna say, can I have this? Okay, thanks, bye. That's all I was gonna
you
do.
get to keep your rapier. Who has the sword from the case?
Oh, I figured that smoky cloaked lady was the best
Alolan,
DM
Cool.
for
I'll
it.
have it.
You're handed this sword and you sneak it into your cloaks and it just disappears as you tuck it away very discreetly.
My weapons are very personal to me, so I won't replace them.
Does the wizard want to find anything, or are you good, wizard?
Up a small dagger.
All right. You also get a dagger that's question mark named. If you want to put that down, meaning you'll find out what it does soon enough. Each of them has different symbols in the hilt. Each of them different craftsmen that had built them, so they all come with their own distinct flavor. Now, here's the time where we do take a short break, as our party is going to go somewhere outside of this room, meaning the players are going to take a little bit of a break to get some more water, do whatever they need to. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So do listen for our song. We'll be playing some light music in the interim, and then you'll hear our 53-second intro. With that, we're going to go on break. See you soon. Hello. A plan has been hatched. Things will happen, I think. We are back. We are looking good. We didn't have any large screen issues. Thank you, tech goblins that we hired on way over there. Thanks, guys. The tech goblins are doing good.
They're sleeping
They're
now.
sleeping now. Well done. Because of that, welcome back to D&D here with Here Be Dragons. We do have Sarah and Glenn as our guests today.
Whoa!
If you missed any of the first half, can't spoil it. Go back, listen to it. If you're here waiting for it, a lot of stuff happened. There's some Warforged, and there's a hunt for an artificer, and yeah, this is a strange place. Very, very quickly, take a look at our sponsors up above here. I believe Lauren had triggered all of the messages here for Blacksmith Craft Dice, Caffeinated Cobalt, and Critical Treasures. They do so many great things within the D&D and nerd communities with their craft, so do take a look at them. They're special to us, so please support them even just by sharing, liking, following their stuff, because our players are rolling Blacksmith Craft Dice. We drink some of the coffee. There's a lot of great stuff.
That's so cute.
Channel
I wanna do
points.
that.
Yeah, so we do have channel points. I need to make that. We will look at that, and we will... Thank you, Penguin Witch Doctor. We'll look at giving treats to the doggos. There are 2 doggos, if you haven't seen them yet, wandering around. We will treat the pups with some of those channel points. I will make note, actually.
By the end of season 4, each of the puppies is just...
112 pounds, and then they should only be 12 pounds.
I was gonna estimate. I was like, I don't know how big they're supposed to be, so...
For 10,000 channel points, I will eat a vegetable.
One of them is already overweight.
Oh, man. So, vegetables to the dogs is what I'm hearing. Vegetables to the dogs and Nathan.
Was I the overweight one?
The dogs.
Sorry. We meant to tell you about it, Nathan. Sorry, bud. No. We're not talking about Nathan. We're talking about D&D now. Now, as you look below, there's a nice little health bar that is almost empty. It might only take a follow or a few bits or a $1 tip to become the new hype boss. You become that new hype boss, and you get to assign a nat 20 to be used instead of a d20 roll to any of the players. Some of the tips and donation stuff, if you look below here on Twitch, it is outlined briefly, but go wild, see what you can do, affect the game, and see how messy we can make things. I'm wearing my shirt for that. Beware when the DM smiles. Perfect. We are back. The current plan is to, I don't know, what did you decide?
We're gonna go get the Warforged and smuggle him to...
There's
Do
20.
that.
Anywhere else.
Oh my god, his name is
So-
Clayton, guys. His name is Clayton. C18N. Clayton.
Great, okay.
Oh.
We're gonna go get Clayton, and we're gonna sneak him
POTUS.
into the building next to the library. That's the...
Okay. Did you end up finding a library?
The bookstore, right? You said it was like a library.
No,
I mean-
it's the
Even I know
library
bookstores
next
and
to-
libraries are different.
He
It,
said it was like a library.
He said
It
the
was-
library next to the something.
it was a
I don't
note
remember.
from many years ago, so going on a hunch, you might be correct, or you could be terribly, terribly incorrect and spring a different trap.
Diagon
Great.
Alley, here we come.
Perfect.
All right.
We should find out who's lived here the longest and see if one of these buildings was a bookstore.
Library.
Wait, did you say that? Ooh, guys, all 3 of the shop owners from 3 of the places came out like clockwork, I think the DM said. Is it possible that they're all new age Warforged that are also hunting for these old guard?
Hippie Warforged. Yes!
So Clayton is definitely our friend.
Okay, we gotta get back there now!
As you hustle
That
back,
kid's
that kid.
he's been
Someone
spreading the
told him
rumors about the middleman.
as you hustle back to the inn, a new god approaches above the real gobshite, cheers 100 points, and you hear beckoning in the distance, real gobshite, who gets the nat 20?
Bum, bum, bum.
Real
I feel like
gobshite,
he's been
beckon.
our-
Maybe.
He's been our. Oh.
Yeah.
It was
Penguin Witch Doctor. Uh-oh. Real Gobshite just came online,
Watch
Nathan.
him give it to
Be clear.
Jared. With some condition again.
Oh no, some condition to use against somebody.
Yeah.
While we wait for what that god beckons and the players are all running to the inn, the inn door swings open as you all push in to figure out what's going on. C18N is sitting there, looking around, and you see a slight smile, if any, come across his face. And from outside you hear, Bigsby, as the god says Bigsby gets this nat 20.
Thank you.
With that, the Warforged looks at you and speaks. Did you find the
No artificer yet, but we found
artificer?
the bad guys. I mean, we found other Warforged, and they don't seem nice.
We found a handbook. Maybe you could fix yourself?
I take the penny or the coin and I press it next to him, see if he lights up.
Do you know anything about that potion yet?
You don't know anything about the potion. You hand the coin over, or do you pinch it in front of him? What is it that you do?
I pinch it in front of him.
You pinch it in front of him, and the message plays, and you see C18N sit up. That is the voice of my creator, and I must find where he is at. By hearing that, I know he is still alive, and he sparks at the neck at this point a little bit.
Do you want it?
No, keep
Okay.
it for finding him.
Do you know how it works? How I can find him with it?
I do not know all of the details, but he is able to put messages in items, and it may be of importance as it stops before he finishes his message.
Okay. Well, we gotta get you out of here because the other Warforged are coming.
Do you have any way to protect yourself?
I am no longer suited for war.
Hey, Erlewin, what if you give him that super sword?
But he... What? Huh? The sword? The one that commands the Old Forged? Right? Isn't that what he said it was?
Wait, the sword...
Right?
Uh,
Am I remembering
also-
correctly?
Roughly, that's what you remember hearing. It had some command, but it was given to you very vaguely.
oh, I thought it commanded, like, monsters or something. Maybe that's why they were keeping it. They were holding on to the very weapon that could destroy them. Again, I'm not the smart one. I'm looking to those two to see if they think that's a good idea.
Why don't we rent a room and keep him in there?
We have 3 rooms?
There is so the players who had been here, or the characters who have been here a little bit, there is a room across the way. There's a home that is used for distinguished guests, but it is on the other side of this hamlet. It's only a few hundred yards, but it is open air to get there.
Could somebody have an extra cloak or something? We could disguise him?
Add invisibility.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Great.
All right. So
We should probably try to at least wrap some cloth around the areas where he's leaking.
Yeah.
Because he may be invisible, but his liquids won't be.
Okay. Are Warforged creatures?
I don't think they're considered a creature. No,
Okay.
just like a humanoid isn't a creature.
Oh, only humans are?
Well,
No
Humans,
questions.
tieflings,
in terms of
elves.
Okay.
of healing, yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab like some napkins and tie up where
We
he's
are wrapping.
leaking,
All right.
clean up the floor.
Once he's good and clean, I'm gonna touch him and make him invisible.
All right. As you do that, you see invisibility kind of drape over him. He sparkles and then disappears. And you hear him moving ever so slightly. What is our next step here?
We're gonna take you to our room where you'll be safe.
Where is it? Upstairs or nearby?
Across the hall. A couple hundred, 100 yards out this door and right across.
Yeah, it's across the street.
Follow us.
Okay,
So
I
I
will
open the-
follow.
I open the door and I'll like kind of lead, and we're all walking in like a clump. I would imagine, like kind of surrounding him,
Yep.
And I
but
would,
looking natural.
I'll be like, hey, if you need, just like put your hand on my head for balance.
You do feel a couple fingers touch the top of your head, as if he's just using you to help lead, and you feel a little stumble once in a while, and you do hear a bit of the motion of him stumbling and some of the gearing locking from time to time. And as you're walking and moving throughout the area between the inn and your home, you see the leather worker walk past, and the young boy bouncing next to him. Dad, there's metal people around. Did you know that? And the leather worker just shakes his head and hands the boy a bundle of leather strips and laughs. Son, it's just some old tales that are told in this area, but don't you worry. If there are, they're probably quite friendly. And the kid bounces off, and the leather worker waves at you all. At that moment, when the kid bounds off, you do see that the armor smith walks over and starts talking with the leatherman, and you hear some conversation about these metal people, and the armor smith laughs and turns around and walks off as if it was a joke to him.
Can I whistle loudly to try and help cover up the sounds? Like a tune of sorts? Just
Yeah.
random, trying to cover up that clanking a little bit.
You begin whistling loudly, and I would believe that some of the clanking on your packs of the tools you carry covers it a little bit. So you're not getting too many odd looks. A guard walks past and kind of waves at you, and then looks around as he believes he hears some sound and watches you walk off, but doesn't end up following you. And as you get to the step of this house, another craftsman walks over, and this time he seems to be someone who deals with glass. You see on his leather apron there's shards of glass that look like they were melted almost, as if he was doing some glass blowing and it dripped on his leather apron. And he walks up and waves at you all. Hey, it's been good to have you here. We're building a few new bottles for the new brew, and we'd like to get some of the outsiders' opinion. If you have a few minutes to come on over, we'll give you some of the brew. We'll let you see some of the bottles. We want something that's appealing when you see it at shops outside of the hamlet here.
Okay,
That's
we're gonna go
wonderful.
put our bags down. We've had a long morning already, and we'll hop on over later.
Okay, cool. I'm just up the street. You can see me right there. And he points, and there's an opening to a shop that's got a lot of different glass figurines sitting on tables, some wind chimes and things hanging, and it is clearly just down the road from the front door of this building.
Bigsby says, wait, that place next to the library?
Library? Are you talking about the bookshop? We don't really have any libraries here, at least not anymore.
Sorry, I just stepped out from, okay, that place with all the glass and the, oh, okay.
Did you used to have a library here?
I mean, I think the bookshop was the only thing close, but I don't know. I've only been here 7 or 8 years, and that bookshop's been
nice.
here the whole time.
We've only been here like 2 days, so.
Oh, well.
Gotta go.
Okay, well, I'm just down there. And he walks slowly back to his place and kind of keeps looking over and waves
Like a
as you
robot?
catch. Not like a robot, but he does keep an eye on you.
I just whispered to my friends, like, see what I did there? Found out about the whole lot. Right? Pretty sneaky.
Are we to the house yet?
You're at the house. You're on the stoop of the house right now.
Okay, go inside. I open the door. And
Alright.
leave.
Is there like, I don't know, is there like a lavatory space or something that we could keep him out of the main room?
There is a back kind of nook where it seems to be built for kitchen and cooking. It's a 1-story small home that seems to be an open floor plan. There's a few beds off to the side. There's a small closet under the stairs that is locked. But otherwise, there isn't anything else.
It's
Wait a
Harry
second.
Potter him.
I was gonna say, I opened the door. Is there a child in there?
You cannot open the door. It is locked.
Hey, Ella.
The sleight of hand.
I can, yeah, so I can pick
Do
the
you
lock.
do you have the lockpick set marked?
Thieves' tools?
Thieves' tools. Yep.
Yeah.
Roll for it.
We'll hide them in the closet.
Yeah, that's a 27.
27. You walk up and you just kind of tap
Yeah,
on
look
the
in.
lock and you look in
Fonzie.
and you don't even pull out your lockpick set. You do pull a small pin out of your hair and you just flick it in quick and put it back in your hair before the hair even falls. The door swings open. Behind there's a broom and a mop. A small chest that looks like it holds a few supplies. It's empty at the moment, but it does have some slots. It looks like it almost is a healer's kit of sorts. And it is a quite worn chest. It does have a symbol of a raven on top of it. Otherwise, when you're in there, you do notice there's a hole that is at the top of the stairs, and it seems like water has drained down from the rooftop with this little access way. So this closet's been neglected and in poor repair.
Is it a
Perfect.
good place to leave?
Yeah, it seems like you could fit C18N in there, and he could sit on the chest or a bucket.
All right. We're gonna call you Clayton, by the way.
My name is not Clayton. It is
Yeah, I know,
actually
it's Clayton. Oh, what?
It is actually the Chrononomicron. C18N is my designation, and I have taken the name Chrononomicron as I have made chronicles of many things across these lands.
Okay, could you chronicle who did this to you? Maybe, so we know who we're looking out for?
A handful of thugs had attacked me on the road as I was coming in to find the artificer and get my repairs.
Okay.
Wait, you were supposed to meet him here?
I was, and I don't know where we were supposed to meet as it's been many years since I've been here.
When you think back to the attack, were there anything about them, marks on their clothing, that would have maybe been like notable?
They seem to have been one of the warring factions that tries to take the land. I have it in my books that, and he looks down in the satchel that was hanging on his side. There's a rip, and the satchel is empty. If you can find a copy of my book on a shelf, you should see more details about them. I don't have them in my mind now, as I saved space by writing my books.
I think, look, we gotta go down by the library anyway.
Okay.
Let's go check out any building beyond, on either side of the bookstore. and then maybe we'll grab a book. You
Would-
get like 3 of them still. You got a discount coming your way.
Would you
Yeah.
be okay if we locked you in the closet just to keep you safe?
Do what you must, as it seems there's trouble here.
Okay, we'll try to hurry. So close the door, lock it.
As you're closing the door, you see him sort of sink down a little bit, and the fires behind his eyes dim a tiny as he almost goes into a hibernation-like state. His head rotates back and forth ever so slightly, as if like a sentry mode would be activated.
Okay.
Look, we've got to move quick. This dude's like
Yeah.
essentially bleeding out.
To the bookstore.
We can lock it, right? Lock it
Yeah.
back too, right?
Yeah.
All right,
To
as
the
you're-
bookstore.
you have now hidden our poor robo friend under the stairwell, and have entered the street. As you're walking out, the glass blower waves and kind of waves you over as you had said you'd visit. Rosalind, do you have a question, or are you just hi?
I'm looking for old people.
Old people. As you look around and as you recall, most of the humanoids you've met have been middle-aged and younger, other than the bookkeeper in his store. There was an older person that seemed to have traveled through earlier while you were waiting for Bigsby's weapons, but they were more or less a traveling merchant, and you're not sure if they're around anymore.
Okay, if I see any other old people, I'm asking them about a library. We should just check out. Do we check out the glass blower or blow them off?
Look, wait, hold up. Penguin Witch Doctor, we don't have the thing ready for vegetables yet. I guess
I
next
got the
week.
whole fridge full.
But he can't redeem them. Look, he's still gonna be holding on to it. So,
Penguin Witch
Yeah.
Doctor, we will be starting our full season back up in September, and I will make sure that that's on there. And I will consult Lauren as to favorite vegetables that we can.
Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts.
no, that is so mean.
But
Why would you do that?
what do you do with the glass blower players?
Look, I won't. Look, half of us can go on to the bookstore. Half of us will stay here. No?
The tiefling says, "Do not split the party."
Let's go to the glass blower, point to the bottles, say this one's great, and then go to the bookstore.
Was the glass blower one of the ones that came out at the same time as the blacksmith early this morning? Who were the 3 that came out?
That you wouldn't have known. If you're looking at the shape of the city, there's an arch that the roads go down. You're looking down the easternmost road. The house that you were just at is on the westernmost road. These 2 roads run along like the center of the city, so the glass blower is on the opposite side of the shops that you had seen this morning.
Okay.
I don't think picking out glass bottles is our priority.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we'll just let him know we're going by later or something.
he was
This
weird.
evening.
Gotta run an errand. We'll be back.
Yeah, we.
He does take a few steps towards you and stops his hand as he was trying to like wave at you, and puts it down and just stares at you, puts his head down a little bit, and then as you start walking off, he does stand straight and squint his eyes and stare at you as you walk away.
Really looking forward to alcohol later with you, though.
He is an odd guy.
Weird vibes. Let's go.
But isn't that? No, the leather worker has a kid. So I
Yeah.
think the leather worker, unless they can grow, the leather worker might be like real person. But
The blacksmith looked quite real until he went.
True.
yeah, but the kid was like, there's metal people. And his dad was like, that's not real.
But what if they
Like-
never told him he was a metal person? So he hasn't even looked like that.
Could also be adopted, I guess. Like, hey,
Maybe.
look, we found a baby and I want to feel like I'm more human. So,
What if? This just popped into my mind. What if the
Mhm.
artificer is posing as that alcohol dealer? Maybe we should stop.
That's a good thought. Because he
Just in
just
case.
randomly approached us.
Yeah, he was pretty insistent.
You should come help us pick out glass bottles.
Okay.
Yeah, who helps with glass bottles?
Exactly,
That's
it's a
not-
trap.
We double back. You want
It
double
might
back?
be a trap, but we're going in prepared. I want to double back.
Got that new dagger? We're good.
Yeah.
Figure out what it does.
Hey, buddy! Just kidding! It's a prank we play on our friends that we want to have in the future.
You're strange. Come on in, though.
Perfect.
It's okay,
It's-
you are too.
I'll trust your opinions, but note
I-
that they might not be so highly valued as one would expect, because doubling back on me and whatnot. Oh, you'll get an 80% score.
Sorry, bud. I pat his shoulder of like, I'm sorry, and I'm trying to see if it's human or if he feels oddly firm.
He feels like a muscular craftsman, one that spends a lot of time lifting, pulling, moving. So firm-ish, but as you go to feel him up and grab his muscles, you're here for the drinks, not back off. And he kind of pushes you away.
Look, she's just friendly.
Yeah, and I ruffle his hair.
And a
So,
Are you sure you haven't been drinking already?
tell us about these artifacts you have created.
Well, plenty of glass here, and he just rambles and goes on to a monotony that your eyes glaze over. And as he goes on, he continues about all the different sands he uses and all the different techniques he has to building these glass bottles. And you walk up, and there's 4 almost imperceptibly similar bottles that you can't tell hardly any difference visually. And he points at them, and he goes, they each have a distinct color to the light that passes through them, which also could help adjust the flavor of the alcohol placed in them as it sits and ages for many years. Do you see it? Do you see it? And he points out, and he calls out a few different colors that you might see. To most eyes, again, imperceptible.
I hit the coin in my pocket.
And while she does that, I am like listening, but I like keep looking to the streets to see if there's like battalions of people moving back and forth, and to see if like we're just like he's a diversion.
The streets are pretty quiet. As you push the coin and the voice goes off. So someone else there? Hello? And he looks around.
That was my fox. He can talk 1 day a year.
You know what?
I've heard
think
of that. Okay.
We can all agree. I point to the second bottle. This one, clearly the winner.
Yeah, you know what, the color and the flavors that you described. I mean, would you agree, my new friends here as well?
What color is the second bottle, Dungeon Master?
All of the bottles are almost perfectly. They're almost perfectly clear. They all look identical in their shape, and you may notice if you look close enough that there's a slightly different color of how the light passes through, but you don't know because of their placement if that's true or false.
How can you expect us to pick a bottle when each one supposedly affects the flavor of a beverage that we haven't tasted?
I will pour some for you. Here. And he pulls out bottles behind. Each of them has a brown liquor in it, and he pours a small glass from each and sets them out. Feel free to taste.
I would like to roll perception to see if I perceive artificer-ness about this man.
All right, roll perception.
That'll be 19.
I just imagine
19.
I just imagine Rosalind goes, I don't know what an artificer is, but you have it.
As you are squinting at him and he's pulling out the bottles,
Or metallic. I want to see if he's artificer or...
as Elowen chokes on her drink over here. You do seem to feel like he is a bit more mechanical in his motion. It's very, very precise, everything he does. Down to when you look at the placement and the pores are almost exact in the same height of the glasses. The little glasses are set exactly in front, almost the same spacing of the bottle to glass to table edge. And you do perceive that with your 19.
You know what, guys? I'm not really thirsty. I think we actually do need to go run our errand.
But the bottles.
Thank you so much. No, the second one. The second one is really great. You've clearly done a
taste.
It's a work of art.
Are you sure? I'm a little thirsty.
Nope. I'm sure. Okay. And I grab Bigsy by the arm. Thank you so much.
He picks up the bottle and is looking at it, and you see a smile go across his face as he's looking at the second bottle. And as you're walking out the door,
Can I roll perception on
sure, you can roll perception.
Because
As you're backing out the door,
well, no. It would have been a 16, so.
you get a slight uneasiness about how methodical he was. That's about it.
So I.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to do insight
Insight?
if I could.
I mean, go for it. You're Elowen and Rosalind have done a little bit.
I
Insight.
feel like were the bottles sitting on like a table?
Yep.
Like a narrow table, or
Yep.
like okay. So I feel like I would like lean. I was leaning and looking, and as I turn, I'm gonna kind of trip. So I bump the table.
The table is actually quite sturdy and it rocks everything. A 21 is what you had?
Yeah.
On insight, you said?
Yeah, just to
Okay.
determine, like, because he may seem mechanical, but is it like a craftsman's mechanical, like you talked about before, because, his rigidness may be because of the, rapidity or repeated nature of his work, but like, there's something else.
Yeah. As you're gaining insight and really like staring him down, and Rosalind's trying to pull the group out, you do notice that up his arm, he has a burn, but it's a blackened burn and not a fleshy burn. And he keeps trying to hide it from your view. So everything he does, he doesn't turn his arm upright very much. And he'll even tuck the arm behind, and he'll grin at setting all of the bottles out in front of you. So there, from your insightfulness on this guy, you understand that he's really trying to hide something, but you're not sure what exactly he's hiding.
So you wanted us to be honest with you about this whole, bottle thing, so you could sell as many, as possible, right? About taste and flavor and visual stuff, right?
Yes.
So maybe it's time you're honest with us too.
All right, I didn't make the alcohol, but it is from down the road. I can't take all of the credit.
There.
A child told us there were metal people in town.
Metal people. Are you saying like tin cans with
Warforged?
legs? Warforged.
Oh.
And you see him stiffen up a little bit. You mean the ones that should have died in the sinking of the main island years and years ago?
I kind of lean towards Rosalind and just go, wait, are we trying to get answers out of him now?
I guess so.
Okay, watch this. And I kind of like look at him real intently, and I do this, like this.
Okay.
I'm trying to get him in, but then everyone feels this burst of magic around all of us, because we're all still here, apparently. And we have all entered a zone of truth.
Oh. Okay.
Now
Wait,
we
you
all
just
know it's a
yourself.
zone of truth.
How did we get the Zone of Truth? Is that a ranger spell?
It's not a ranger spell, but it is a spell of monster slayer rangers.
Oh.
Oh.
I said I was a magic one,
Very nice.
which I totally forgot I had until this moment.
perfect use.
So everyone needs to make a saving throw. It's
Okay.
not very high. I think I have to make it too.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
gonna choose to fail.
What
If that's
is
okay, because I don't have a problem telling the truth.
What are we saving against?
What's the save?
It's a charisma saving throw, which means I failed. I will
Just
tell
for
the truth
funsies.
on my own spell.
I have a 17 total for charisma.
Shoot!
I have 22.
22.
Same.
14.
14.
It only affects Rosa.
So I mean, my save is only a 14. I'm not a spellcaster, folks.
Did I hear that Tana is failing or saving?
Failing.
All right. So this burst happens and it kind of ripples through the room. What are you doing, sir?
So
He just
I
farted.
know everyone who's hold up. So I failed it, and I know everyone who's failed and succeeded. And so he asked me a question. I'm like, casting zone of truth, obviously.
Are you trying to get more details about my glass or about the alcohol? Because again, I didn't make it. Down the road, they can tell you more about it.
About that burn.
This burn? Oh, it happened while I was blowing some of these bottles. It's
Oh, I'm a healer. Let me look. And I go to reach gently for his arm.
No. It's fine. I've already put a salve on it. It's fine. It's fine.
You don't have to hide that you're metal.
Why do you think I'm metal?
Because I'm very
Porcelain or wood?
perceptive.
Just so we all know, he saved on my spell.
Oh.
I cannot
know.
tell a lie right now.
Bigsby's like, yeah, he's telling the truth. Or
Wait,
the
out of
lie. Or
curiosity,
both.
Here's the thing. Did Elwyn fail a save?
I saved.
Darn.
22.
Are you
I
friends with the blacksmith?
Yes, we share the forges in the back.
Well, that's nice. We got to visit with him earlier. He seems real great.
He's a longtime friend.
Did you all hear that my spell
We
didn't
gotta
work?
go. Thank you again. Second bottle. Really, that's a great one.
You should cut him off. Don't take
Yeah.
him to the bar the rest of
Yeah,
the day.
he's had too much. Okay. Bye.
Bye. And as you're backing out, do you want to grab anything? I know you do on your way out.
I imagine there's different bottles of brews.
Oh, there's no filled bottles. There's just a lot of glass pieces and empty bottles.
No.
No?
But I really want to trip and break some. Like trip and break some.
with your grace, you attempt to trip, and you miss a bunch of things. So you're able to
So I reach out and swat them.
you swat them, and he's already turned around, and he looks back.
I tripped. I'm sorry.
Well, be careful next time. That's a lot of money you've just cost me. Oh, and you hear him.
Charger.
You hear him walk off to the side and start fiddling with like a broom.
You break, you buy? No? Those are the rules where I came from.
The whole time, Tana is keeping her mouth shut, apparently, in this. Okay. Charge
All right,
her.
to the bookstore again.
All right. How long does the zone of truth?
So
affect?
it lasts for 10 minutes, but I think if
In
it's
the
only
area.
there for that radius of an area. So once
What-
we exit,
What
I
is the
think-
radius on it?
15-foot radius. So it's pretty much his whole shop, I think.
Pretty much the whole shop and just to the edge of the doorway.
For the next 10 minutes, his shop, no one can tell a lie
Oh,
if they
man.
fail to save.
As you're all backing out and making your way, and you hear a crash, as Elwyn drops a few things on the ground,
The rose, maybe?
throws, drops,
Nice.
pushes. We don't know.
Tripped. I
Um,
tripped.
She tripped, and that's what she's saying. a young woman walks past and steps into the shop. And then she stands upright and goes, "Ha! I never liked those faces anyways! Whatever!" And
Ha! 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 Light bulb! As we step out of the shop, I say, one of the items that the guy said, that the guy enchanted was a vase. A coin, a vase, something else. I remember a vase was named.
Oh.
Oh,
who has the book still? You do flip through and you do see on the page there's a coin, a vase, and a book.
And the book that the Warforged wrote is probably on the shelves in the library.
what have we been doing this whole time? Go back in there. Also, ask that woman if she's a Warforged. See, I'm pretty sure my spells work. Right.
The vases are apparently broken now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh no.
And you do hear her make a few little remarks and laugh as if now she has failed the save and is just really mocking some of the work in there. And you hear a grumbling back and forth from
It's just liar.
the shopkeep and the woman who had entered.
Wait, you guys. You said a coin, a vase, and a book, right?
Nope.
Sorry, just remembering that there were 3 craftsmen that met outside this morning.
That we saw, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we found a coin at the
Bookshop.
bookshop. I mean, the vase. I think we gotta go back in there and see if there's a vase. Hopefully, not every single vase was broken.
I'm just saying, one of them's got to know something, right?
Right. But this is where vases live.
You're gonna know which vase it is.
Is there a picture?
Yes, there is a picture. It is a very ornate vase that looks like it's got flowers wrapped around it.
Is it made of glass?
Yes.
Go look for it. We'll stand outside.
Okay. I'm gonna go inside, having looked at it a bunch,
Now,
trying to memorize its features.
you're going to have to re-roll as you enter the zone of truth.
Love it. This is my backfire on this. Yeah, 23.
All right.
You can go.
As you
I was hoping actually to buy a vase. You know, I like to keep flowers, as I like to pull them from the earth and keep them in my home.
as you're kind of saying that, the glassblower shopkeep is arguing with the woman, and it sounds like they actually have a more personal relationship. She's in the zone of truth and he is not, and so she's just like letting him have it about all of the things that she's put up with him, and you do see the vase sitting up on the wall off to the left with a couple other dustier glass pieces that seem to be something of value. It's not locked up, it is within reach, and the shopkeep is very much in the throes of a conversation there. So
Oh man, too bad I'm super lawful and I don't like stealing things, but I will borrow it. No, I don't have the ability. It's how big
Just
is
pay
it?
for it.
it's probably 8 or 10 inches tall and a few inches wide. It's not a very wide. It's just a tall, slender vase with flowers wrapped around.
I'm gonna say how much for that, hoping to get him to give me an off price, not really paying attention to which one I'm pointing at.
He waves his hand and goes, "Oh, just take a couple gold, whatever, just."
Okay.
And
Shoot.
he's really just trying to get you out of the shop, trying not to have you be a part of his conversation.
Nice.
And
I put 2 gold on the counter and say thank you.
he waves and fires back a few words to the woman, trying to calm her down. And eventually the woman just storms out past all of you and stiffens up and goes, "Oh, I guess I told him how I really felt. He's kind of a jerk." And walks off down the road and is like scratching her head. just trying to figure
I
out what
say-
just happened.
Good zone of
Is
truth.
this taken from real life? Like, does this happen? Is that what happens in real retail stores? I'm just starting to realize, like, what my daily experience is that I am in a zone of truth.
Yes, there's
All the
pockets.
time.
There's pockets of Zone of Truth in every retail store. It's part of the standard installation in the U.S. as of like 1972. Gary Gygax did have a big part in this, as he brought Mordekainen and others to put those out. But you know,
Makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them near cashiers because everyone will tell a cashier their life story.
That and bars.
yeah, bars have to be
And
fully
devices.
under it. Yeah. Yep,
Also,
yep.
coffee shop or baristas.
So we've got
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 Horcruxes.
The what?
Horcruxes.
Go to the bookshop.
What are the things? What's the thing?
Yeah,
Can
no,
we try
you're right. The
sneaking into the bank?
Horcruxes.
Oh, no, not yet. And I say, I got it.
I put the coin next to it and I push it.
The coin speaks as it did, cuts off as you expected.
I touch them. I put it in
Poke
it.
the vase! Poke the vase!
As you're
poking it.
as you're poking the vase, one of the flowers depresses slightly, and as
How
That'd be
depressed.
so sad.
as you find that
Happens when
little
you touch
lever
flowers.
sinks in, you do hear an echoey voice from inside that speaks the next part of the message, that says something along the lines of, "And when we're able to talk to one another again, we should meet up in the local," and then it cuts off.
Go
Ah,
on, get that book!
kill me, Smalls.
Wait, this isn't the book, is it? So we always find the book? What would the
No,
book
the-
say? We have to find the book.
The book pictured is a bit thicker. Has a face drawn on it that looks very much like the older Warforged, like C18N.
Okay. To the bookstore.
To the bookstore. We're back!
As you open the door to the bookstore, you're not met with any voice. You're not met with any person. There are a few books that are knocked off the shelves, and it is very quiet here.
I did this.
Charlie?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, we
go-
sent people to him.
Was his name Charlie?
No.
Oh.
Look for the book, and then we gotta go.
What's the book we need?
Yeah, let's look
Show her
for
the
it real
picture.
quick.
On
Picture!
On the picture, you do notice that it does say something with a ton of letters that are kind of scribbled out on the bottom. You do see a C and a NO and then an M on somewhere in there.
Chrononomical.
Yeah, the Chrononominum! Do 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 do!
Chrononom.
Yeah, Chrononomicon.
Chrononomicon.
That one!
Look
for
for
that
the
one!
Chrononomicon.
There's also an ATTI and then an N. I don't know if that has a relation.
That one earlier, I
That was
believe
ANN.
it was the Wandering Battalion, is what
Oh.
he had said when you were showing the list.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking for the book.
As you look through all of the sections, it doesn't seem to be in any order. There are certain sections that do have like pockets of similar books. You get to a section that does seem to be a bunch of historical books. And then there's a section about horticulture just next to it. And this is the last section that seems to all be a little bit newer, less dusty.
We definitely need to be in the yellow pages, right?
You're a little bit closer to the white pages instead of the yellow pages. These are a little bit newer
I
books
want to
here.
look by where where the guy grabbed the book he gave to
Yeah,
me.
we look by the book that he pulled out. That's on the northern wall
Alright.
that butts up to another building. That you see a handful of other books on creatures, languages, animals, various other things. Nothing that sticks out to you, but on the newer books on the south side of the building, you do recall outside there was just a pile of rubble up against this building. On that south side, you do see historical books of various places. One, you see the Black Isles. Historical, you see the luck of the what is it? The luck of
The Irish.
the fiends. You do see the Arboretor Chronicles, and then you also see the Cosmology of War there.
Cosmology of War is probably his book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the front of it look like?
Grab it. I grab it. What is it for cover?
As you pull it out, it does seem to be a bit more about tactics based with orc and elf battles from years ago on this island. It goes into great detail about formations, bunkers, etc.
I push on the cover.
Nothing happens to that book.
It's got to
Put it
have
back
his
on there.
face on the cover, doesn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't. So we
So
keep scouring.
as you scour through, the books move easily until you get to the Black Isles history, and that one sticks in place, almost as if it's expected to be pulled or pushed.
Push it.
Push it.
Push it.
Pop it.
As you
Pull
push it, pull it, twist it, and then eventually bop it, it does say a message to you, and it says, "Behind the bookcase in the library," and it sinks in, and the bookcase slides over, and there's a small room behind. The room is kind of caved in at the far ends, and in the back you do see a skeleton sitting in a chair holding a box.
We're
Charlie.
too late.
I go and I grab the box.
As you grab the box, on the front of the box you see a face of a Warforged emblazoned in metal and sunk into this wooden box. Underneath it does say S3E17, and then hand carved you see Chrononomicron underneath. And as you pull the box out, it's about a foot tall and about 8 inches wide and about 6 inches deep, and it rattles with a few pieces inside.
So I open
Yep.
it.
As you open it, inside you do see that there's a few mechanical pieces. You don't quite understand what they go to. One kind of looks like a gear that you had seen in the ones you had fought earlier. Another looks somewhat like a pipe piece. And then there's a couple little slivers of paper that seem to have diagrams as to where they might fit within a larger structure.
These must be what will fix him. You think?
It's a repair kit. Yeah.
Look,
We gotta get it back to him.
we should also find a book guy. I can get to him really quick with the box on Mick. I'm nigh uncatchable when I'm on Mick, so they'll never get to me. But you guys should look. I'll be quick, all right? And you guys find a bookkeeper.
Take someone with you.
I've got Mick.
Take someone. Human person.
Wow, really? Just
Mick
after
could
all
talk.
he's done.
It's kind of like a person, a talking fox.
Thank you so much. Oh, that wasn't him. That was the coin.
You're just so convincing.
No, it was before the zone of truth.
I mean,
Okay, well, if you want me to take someone, I'll Elowen, can I just hold the box and start saddling up?
Do you want to go with him, Elowen? To fix the.
I guess it's fine.
I mean, I look at Elowen, I was like, Elowen, you can come with me. And as I'm facing away from Rosalind, I'll go,
He winks at you.
At me?
Yeah, so you can come with him as you go outside. So you're off to do whatever you want, it sounds like. Cough,
Oh.
cough.
yes.
You there.
Or not.
I have a 17 passive perception.
Are you looking at Rosalind or are you looking for my winking eye?
I'm part of the situation. I have a 23.
Oh.
You do,
Do I
not,
need to
you
put
do
babies
notice
on
the wink, but you're not sure
I'm
if
an
it was a
adult.
wink or if he was just blinking something out of his eye.
We already said we shouldn't split up the party. Having 4 and 1 is just
Fine,
not.
I guess one of these creatures is gonna die.
I'll go with you.
What creatures?
And we'll stay and investigate and try and
Who
get the
has-
lead on
well,
the-
here's
the little
thing.
gnome.
Who has the skills to deal with the repair? And who has?
I mean,
Probably
If the
sleight
die-
of hand.
I mean, it's file. I mean, it's got an instruction booklet too, so that's helpful. So I mean, if anybody has any propensity with tools, I saw you work that lock really well earlier. So
Okay, I'll go. And I just
Okay.
like take the box and walk over there.
We're gonna go back to the blacksmith and try to find who might have taken the bookkeeper.
let's
Okay.
just investigate here. Let's see if maybe he's hiding, or if we can see where he was taken,
Okay.
in what direction. Just investigate the crime scene for what it's worth.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Anyone want to roll some investigation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so they all stayed.
I mean, you're walking out towards the door.
Yeah.
The three have stayed here. What are our investigations?
9.
That's about what you see.
Huh. Let me
22.
check behind the counter.
What'd you get?
We got a
21.
22, you said,
Into 21, yeah.
and a 21.
And 21 as well.
All of you do notice that in the light dustiness of the floor, it seems that some heels had been dragged, or something had been dragged across the floor out the front door, and it seems to curve off to the north, which is where the inn was. You do see a few boot prints. One of them seems to have a scuff to it, as if there's a limp.
Follow. I'm following those tracks.
I mean, we're all going in that direction now.
You guys already left.
I'm going to the house.
You're going to the house? Yep.
Where? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go north and around to the house. Yes.
Well,
So-
now that we know the direction, maybe we should go to the house and meet up with them, and then go to the house, go in the direction of the drag marks together.
Up to
Okay.
you guys. All right. So Aloan, Bigsby, and McCulJ are hustling through town to get to the house. McCulJ Fox. Yes, there it is.
Did you just get it?
No, it just gets me every time because he says the full name.
I have to hit. That's his name.
Wonderful.
So McCulJ and Bigsby are up ahead, and Aloan's rushing behind. You do pass a couple carts that have been set out, so it makes it a little hard and challenging to get through, as there's a few more people on the street here. But you do get to the house and see that the door is locked and closed still. The rest of you, very quickly assessing the situation, bust out the front door and see the drag marks heading north up the street where you need to run to get to the house anyways. And as you're hustling up the street, you do hear in the back of one of the carriages, the trunk, you hear dum dum, dum dum.
I stop. Somebody's locked in.
Get it out.
Okay, I get in that carriage.
As you hop in the carriage, it's an open top carriage. There's a man across the street that yells, "Hey, that's my carriage! Get off of that!" And the horses are still hitched at this point, as you notice. So the carriage has very little place to go. There is the chest behind the seat, and then the open back where luggage and other items would sit.
Any of you good with lockpicking? Is it locked? I want to look at the.
As you look back, you do see that the chest that is kind of thumping and banging is locked. But as you look up and start to talk to the others, the man across the street, you do see that he is the armor smith, and behind him shows the glass blower. And they start walking across the street towards you, and they're yelling at you, "Get off! Get off! That's mine!"
I'm just gonna use sleight of hand then. I can't wait to talk to people, and I'm gonna pick this with a 14.
14. You reach back and you're working fiercely to pop the lock, and nothing happens. And at this point, the men start hustling over a bit faster. They're only about 20 feet out.
Eldritch Blast! Force damage!
On the lock?
Do it.
On the lock.
Oh, no.
All right. Let's roll to hit. because it does have an armor class.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. A 9.
It does hit. It's a very not sturdy wooden box, so
Oh
it hits.
Great.
Please
Thank
roll damage.
Good.
Don't hit it too hard.
That's a total of 2 force damage.
2 force damage. The box cracks across the top near the lock, but not enough to let the lock loose. These 3 men are now hustling at you as the blacksmith joins in too.
Uno más.
This poor guy.
Smash!
You smash. Please roll to hit.
What if they break out a monster? Have you guys thought of that?
12.
12 hits. Please roll damage.
Which one's 98? Oh, this one. 9.
9.
Oh no.
You blast open the lid of this box, and you see the old bookkeeper laying there, his hands over his head, protecting from the shattering as you guys have bust in. But at that moment, the other 3 are within grasp of the back of this carriage. The glassblower hops up onto the back of the carriage and rocks it, almost knocking you off as he jumps with almost inhuman force and lands on the back of the carriage.
I need help with my books. Why did you capture this old poor man?
He's C11A.
As you say that,
Sorry.
he starts transforming and laughs and goes, Z11A, do you know where he is?
What?
Oh, I thought you were Z11A. Sorry.
No,
Wrong.
my number and designation is 513351111.
The bookkeeper? Well, never mind. You can take him. Why were you in a box?
No. No, the bookkeeper, he's saying the glass.
The glassblower
I
had
thought you
jumped
meant
up. No.
I thought it was the bookkeeper. I was
No,
like,
no.
The bookkeeper
The
is
bookkeeper
like
is
this.
laying there. The glassblower
Okay.
had jumped on the back, and you guys are addressing him as he's coming after you for getting on his cart.
Yeah. Why are you? This is kidnapping people is not allowed. Where is the sheriff in this town?
They don't have law. That's why we're here in the first place. You hear a voice in your subconscious side.
I don't know who these numbers are. We don't know a Z. I just wanted a book and I couldn't find it because you kidnapped this poor man. This is ridiculous. I give him a hand and try to help him. Now, so I don't have to go to the authorities, I'm going to return this man and find my book for my literary enjoyment and education.
The streets at this point have mostly cleared of everyone but you and these 3 men. Across town, McCulJ slows to a halt as you get to the door, and he hears all of this commotion behind, and his ears flicker a bit. Aloan and Bigsby, you do hear some commotion back behind as you're making your way up to the steps. It's only a handful of, it's only a few hundred yards around, so you do hear the explosions and crashes and some shouting.
We were literally gone for like 3 minutes, right?
Maybe.
I mean, like,
maybe. I mean,
maybe.
The speed that you guys were running, you're probably gone for about 45 seconds.
yeah, because I was riding Mick, and Mick can go 100 feet per action. So, I'm like, Eloine, I mean, fix him up if you want. Good night. Gotta do everything we ride! And Mick, I like pull Mick around.
I will need everyone to roll
I handed her. She never gave it to me.
for initiative. McCulJ and Bigsby, you will miss 3 rounds of combat. Aloan, you will miss 4 rounds because you were on foot.
Wait, I didn't say I
If she
turned
even
around.
comes.
You didn't? Okay.
No.
Okay. Then you don't turn around.
Well,
You're
I'm
not
just
rolling.
assuming if there is any issue, this guy's gonna be better use to us if he's fixed, so I might as well
Okay.
try.
Okay, so you're rushing into fix.
I was
Perfect.
assuming that
Perfect.
I would have somebody staying to run guard and
I
make
need-
sure I have
I
the
need
space.
you to roll initiative, And on your turn, we will let you do fixing actions.
Okay.
So sorry, guys. Every time Mick's trying to do something heroic, people are like, "Oh,
could've
you're doing,
carried on."
shh, you're doing the wrong thing. Stop interrupting me." Gosh, Mick just wants to do stuff.
So
Mick
Mick
just
is
wants to do
basically
stuff.
married to the party, is what I just heard.
All right.
Did you ask for Bigsby at the top of the order?
Just a second.
Oh no, we usually go alphabetically.
Bigsby Lufaloo.
16 for Bigsby.
16 for
Wait, your last
Bigsby.
name is Lufaloo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Aloan Silverhand.
17.
17. McCall J. Fox.
He goes with a 23.
23. Perfect. So he gets you closer before your turn.
Mhm.
Rolmos, and only Rolmos.
10.
10.
Only Rolmos.
Only roll.
Rosalind Riverhand.
Like share.
10 as well.
10. Tana.
You have to.
17.
What's it?
17.
17. All right. I am starting this here. Rolling initiative. At the top of the turn order. Here we go. We have McCall J. Fox.
He runs 100 feet in the direction of the group.
Perfect. That is one of 3 turns to get him exactly where he needs to be.
Mhm.
All right, let me lay out my battle here. Cool. Now, next up is the blacksmith, and the blacksmith is limping across the road, and as he is, he pulls a spear out of what seems to be his back as he's transforming up into a full Warforged. And as he does, he throws the spear at Rosalind, who is on the cart. And he throws for a 13.
That is my armor class.
That is your armor class, so it does hit. That will be 7 points of piercing damage as this metallic spear lodges into your shoulder. Aloan, as you've kicked in the door and have rushed over towards where your mechanical friend is, you first have to get through the lock. There is a key there, so you can open it and open the box. This is as far as I can get you. I can't get you any repair this turn.
So there. Wait, there was a key before?
There was a key on the floor inside,
Oh.
not before. So it was on the floor as you entered in, and that key was used to lock back up.
Oh, I guess I'm unlocking whatever door. I'm
So you-
confused as to what door I'm having to unlock.
All right, so you've unlocked the door, and you're able to get the container open in front of C18N, and the fire in his eyes comes up, and he moves a little bit and looks down, and you see a slight grin, as if he knows exactly what you're looking for there.
But I get a vocal component, right?
You get a vocal, yeah.
Okay, so I feel like, okay, C18N, it looks like it's me and you, so if you know anything, now would be a good time to tell me what I'm doing.
He doesn't respond at that moment. He looks down and kind of surveys what you have in the box.
Right, that's fine.
Tana.
All right, I am going to cast Magic Missile.
You cast Magic Missile at either the glassblower in the cart or the transformed blacksmith who threw the spear, or the armor smith who's near the blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
The blacksmith. All right. You cast Magic Missile. It hits. Please roll damage.
Good job.
Awesome. You see the
13.
13.
13. Okay. So with the 13 damage, you see pockmarks form on the metal plating of this blacksmith, and you see him kind of move a bit, and he sparks a little. If he were more non-metallic, you would say he's bloodied at this point.
He's oilied.
He's oilied. Bigsby Lufalu, you are riding atop McCulJ and just starting to round the corner. It's about 200 feet to the nearest thing that you could shoot if you're able to shoot.
I guess I am able to shoot.
I believe you get severe penalties for shooting that far.
Not with a
Yeah, sharpshooter.
longbow.
Not with a longbow?
Longbows, I think, go up to the ranges. What is it? Or is it max range is 600?
Yeah, I think it's like
And-
120.
120 is at disadvantage.
Yeah, I believe so.
Gotcha. In that case, what I will
150.
do.
150.
150. Okay. In that case, Bigsby's going to prepare himself by pulling out 2 of the daggers that he strapped to himself.
All right. You have 6 daggers. They have a gemstone on each. They have a purple,
Mm-hmm.
a green, a yellow. I'll let you write these down.
Mm-hmm.
So a purple,
Purple.
a green, a yellow, a red, a blue, and an orange. So please tell me which colors you have drawn, and I will tell you what they do when you use them.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to let the dice tell me what I drew. Well, you can't roll the same thing. Good.
You drew 2 of the
I-
same dagger.
Right, somehow, I drew the same one twice. I drew purple and blue.
Purple and blue. Awesome. All right. The bookkeeper stands up and dusts off, and he pulls a splinter that was in his arm from shattering the box, and he looks down, and you hear him mumble something about his nice suit, and you can see that his attire is quite old, but it was fancier at the time that he had bought it. And he just kind of looks around, blinking and confused as to what just happened. Rosalind,
Heat metal, baby!
on
my
which
God.
character?
Let's go. The glass blower is closest to me,
The glassblower is closest. He is standing on the back of the cart and tried knocking you off.
so I'm gonna go with him, and I'm gonna
Alright.
cast it at 2nd level.
All right.
Well, that's 4 damage, but he is at disadvantage.
4 damage, disadvantage. All right. His plating as he's transforming turns red from shoulder to shoulder all the way down, but his entirety of his arms is porcelain or glass. So, Ralmos.
Ramos is going to say, first I want to see, like, he pulled that thing out of himself. Is there any blood soaking through?
On the bookkeeper?
The bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have does have blood soaking through a little bit, and that's why he's mumbling and
Blood.
being frustrated.
Person. Cool.
Person.
I'm going to say, sorry about this. And I'm just going to cast, because they're kind of still away from us, I'm going to cast Darkness on a point within 60 feet of me, so that all 3 of them are enveloped, but we are not.
You actually do have, if you look at it, you have the cart with Rosalind and the glassblower. You're standing off to one side. The others are still out in the street, so you can get the armorsmith and the blacksmith, but you can't get the
Let's do that.
glassblower.
Let's do that.
Okay,
I'm going to do the armorsmith and the blacksmith. I believe it's a 20-foot radius.
I believe so.
So it envelops them as much as possible.
Yep.
And then as a bonus
you can cast
action,
it on a point or an item. If you wish to cast it on an item, you can note that to yourself, so I don't metagame at all.
oh, okay. If it can be worn or carried. Okay, so if it's carried, I think darkness goes away. So yeah, I'm gonna choose the point that's going to envelop them. Oh, it's only a 15-foot radius too, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna drop that on them. And then I'm going to, as a bonus action, because that's full action. I'm going to, because I have Devil's Sight, so I can see right through this magical darkness. I'm going to cast Hexblade's Curse on the blacksmith.
All right.
The one who is a little oily.
Is a little oily. Yep.
A little oily. So basically now I have an expanded crit range, and if he dies, I get temp HP, and I have a bonus to damage against him. But that's, and then I'm gonna run into the darkness.
Ooh.
And that's my turn.
All right. So you run into the darkness and can see through it. It is the glassblower who finishes changing himself and looks at Rosalind, and he has a blade he pulls that seems to be attached to the side of him, and he pulls it out, and you hear the plates click, and he swipes at you with it as he steps forward. It seems to be short sword in size, and he swings for an 8. Totally misses you.
That is true.
McCall J. Fox.
Moves another 100 feet.
Another 100 feet. You are now 100 feet from battle. McCall J., thank you for your swift motion. It is currently the blacksmith's turn. The blacksmith is fumbling around, and you hear, "Find them! This darkness is magical! Escape it! Escape it! Escape it!" And he stumbles forward and is slow, so he gets to close to the edge of the darkness where you have entered, Ramos. He does not exit. He does take it slow. The bookkeeper looks around and straightens up and looks at the creatures around, and he mutters, I haven't seen these types here before. What's going on?" Aloan, you are sitting with C18N, and the box is open. He's kind of looked over it and has raised his hand a little bit to point in at the piping.
Okay.
And he had said to you, chest, and you see on the side of his chest he's got a gaping hole where there's some oil dripping across some of the piping and the gears.
Okay.
If you wish to place that in, I need a sleight of hand.
Which I'm pretty sure for her is like a plus 40.
So I have a 22.
A 22. You're able to place the piping about where it needs to be, and you feel C18N push your arm just a little bit, and the piece kind of clicks in, and he says, "Rotate 36 degrees," and you're able to rotate. Do one more sleight of hand to see how close you get to that 36 degree mark.
A sleight of hand?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, that's a 14.
14. You get to about 34 degrees, and it stiffens up and locks, and he lets out a little grunt, but it seems to be close enough for him.
FYI, the 14 is about the lowest I could roll on the sleight of hand.
Reliable talent.
Tana, it is your turn.
I'm gonna cast another magic missile.
All right.
Except this time it will be at the glass blower.
At the glass blower, perfect. So you change your targets, you fire off 3 magic missiles that catch and hit.
Love
11 points of damage. You catch the side of this glass blower as he's swung now at Rosalind, and you hit right into the plates that were coming out. So one of the plates sticks a little bit and leaves a little open gap if you wish to pursue that. Bigsby Loopaloo, you are 100 feet out.
And I see a sphere of magical darkness ahead of me, yeah?
Correct.
And I'm gonna say, I prepared just for this moment. And as I start to mutter some words and like dance my daggers in the air, in my pouch, a bit of dried carrot is consumed. And I now have dark vision, that I may ride swiftly into battle and take on my foes.
Dark vision
Oh,
doesn't
man.
work in that spell, does it?
This is the fun part. Dark vision versus magical darkness. I believe does work if it's a magical dark vision, not a innate dark vision.
Well, that's stupid.
Hey, I used my magic. Don't you call me stupid. I did it right.
All right, that's your turn there. It is now the leatherworker's turn, and he stumbles around and doesn't seem to get out of the darkness. Ramos, you do see he moves diagonally and zigzags a little bit and stays almost near the center as he can't see a single thing. Rosalind, you've just been swiped at.
Yeah, so with my bonus action, I'm going to reheat the metal for 8 points of damage.
And that is on the
glass blower.
the glass blower. You see his chest and legs go bright red.
Mm-hmm. And then since that was my bonus action, I had already cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff, so I'm going to go ahead and take a swing for my action.
Is Shillelagh a concentration spell?
No.
Oh, cool. Never
Nope,
mind then.
It's just imbued. That would be a 13 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay.
All right, Ralmos, who's rushed into the darkness, and within about 6 to 7 feet, so a slight movement, the blacksmith, or the Warforged that was the blacksmith, is there.
Yeah. And then, in the darkness, as a bonus action, I cast Shadow Blade,
Ooh.
I love Shadow
which gives me
Blade.
advantage on attacks
In
made
darkness.
in darkness or dim light.
Yup,
Ew.
You sly dog.
And it does
Alright.
what, D8?
I think so, yeah.
So I'm gonna attack the dark. I'm attacking the darkness. No, I'm gonna attack.
It's like shadow boxing. Shadow stabbing.
Blacksmith. Being the one that is closest to the edge
Alright.
of the spell. That is a 19 to hit.
Hits.
And this is a 2d8 psychic damage.
Ooh.
That is 8 psychic damage.
Messing with his mind.
8 psychic damage. As you hit your target, you see that a few sparks shoot out of the temple region, as it does have some effect for the psychic damage.
Okay. Good to know. But that's bonus action. I'm going to kind of like float around behind him,
Okay.
just waiting on him. He's probably going to end up trying to leave, but yeah, that's my turn.
All right. The glass blower, who is bright red at the moment, swings again at Rosalind as he's got sights on her and he's burning up inside, dying from a cooking book. Oh, a 7. He swats over your head again. I believe you're causing quite a bit of damage here and keeping him from hitting well.
That was the point.
McCall J. Fox, you can get all the way up into the battle.
Yep, he does that.
He does. What part of battle does he get up to?
Is there still... I mean, I see the darkness up ahead. There's one on the back of the cart.
Yep.
And then there's the darkness, right?
Yes. McCall J can't see into the darkness himself.
Because his dark vision is natural.
His dark vision is natural, yes.
Shoot. Kind of planning on that. He's got keen senses though. So he will try to use those to still see and hear his way into the darkness.
Okay, I will let you get into the darkness, but if he tries to perform any actions at the moment, he will be at disadvantage, but can still attack something in front of him.
He's just the mode of transportation then. He's not going to try to attack.
All right, so he moves in and cautiously gets into the edge, not too close to anything that he's sensing within.
Cool.
The blacksmith, having been hit, swings around in the darkness, attempting to hit something near him, so he will swing at disadvantage with a 2 on the die. So he hits nothing. He just swats and swings, trying to figure out what had just hit him. Aloan, you're sitting there. You have just placed the pipe. There is a gear, and as you recall, the gear had a symbol that looked like something in a shoulder. And you do see a slot up on the shoulder that would fit, and C18N moves his head to the side. You may try to fit the gear in to see if it can lock in place. Sleight of hand, may please.
That's a 31.
That is a nat 20, right? 31. Yeah, you
Jeez.
click it right in, and C18N kind of moves his neck, and a big grin goes across his face, and his fire behind his eyes lights up a bit more, like you're restoring his power well. Tana.
I'm gonna cast Magic Missile again, and I'm gonna shoot at the glass.
At the glass blower, perfect.
Classic.
It misses. It misses.
Not how that works.
She was like, wait,
The
what?
look on your face. It's a
She's
guaranteed
like,
hit.
in
Wait,
all my
what?
years of wizarding. 13.
13. You're getting some solid hits on these.
Yeah.
So
These
as
new dice.
Ooh.
That would do it.
So as you see the pockmarks form on the metal encasing of this creature, this one is oilied as well now.
You made me ink.
Bigsby Loofaloo, sir. You're in the darkness and you can see what's going on.
I can see 2 creatures, right?
You can see 3. You see 2 enemies
right.
and 1 friend.
I'm going to go to the enemy, or I'm going to stay on Mick. I'm going to see the enemy that is not my friend,
Yep.
or that is not engaged with my friend.
Yep.
I'm going to mark him as my Slayer's prey,
Okay.
and I will take 2 throws with the dagger. Purple is first. And do you know what's going to happen, Jared, with that first dagger?
A nat 20.
It's a nat 20, baby.
Nat 20. Here we go. So the nat 20 purple dagger hits. It will do 2d4 of damage. So you get 8. And then you get to roll 2d4 additional.
Well, the 2d4 additional, plus I also get 14 from the first hit, technically, because I get a d6 for my Slayer's Prey.
All right. So you have 14. And then you roll all of those again to add on top.
All right. So there's 2d4s and there's a d6. So that's another 11 damage.
It's another 11 damage. As you throw this dagger, and it spirals perfectly and hits this foe, what happens is the force on the dagger shatters the dagger into this Warforged. You see a purple mist explosion, and in that explosion, a small portal opens up and sucks the Warforged through, but it's floating there and now pulls everything within 20 feet, 3 feet closer. So you are pulled 3 feet closer to this small portal, and Ralmos and the blacksmith are pulled closer. Ralmos and the blacksmith are about 12 feet out, and you are about 10 feet out now.
Oops. Wait a second. Uh-oh.
You do notice that when the portal formed, The Warforged shattered into pieces, if that makes any difference. He did die, and then he got sucked in.
Yeah, that's nice. I think
As
I
you're,
think
as you're thinking, you
Was
see
that
a
the
couple...
blacksmith?
No, that was the armor smith.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So you see a few bricks lift up from the road and suck in and disappear into the portal in a poof of dust.
I'm gonna be like, second attack action. Maybe this will undo it, I guess. I'm gonna just chuck the blue dagger at it and
Alright.
see if it turns it off.
As you chuck the blue dagger at it, and I need you to roll to hit.
Okay. Okay. Hey, that's a 19 on the dice. I'm guessing plus 7 because it's...
Yeah, it hits. It hits this portal, and as it hits the portal, it explodes in a blue mist, and there's water spraying out and into the portal, and there's water arcing around this portal, spraying in and out of this now wet and wild ride to the abyss. Who knows? But it is splashing onto the bricks, and then the bricks are lifting up around it. You've made a mess for yourself. Nothing else moves at this moment, but on Bigsby's turn, the portal will move everything within 20 feet, 2 feet closer.
I am going to say, Mick, back up, and also, hey wizard, don't use your dagger,
All right.
because the wizard grabbed another dagger too, right?
I did.
Don't.
Let me take the monster. And a giant angry puppy comes out. All right. Perfect. Oops. Now you've got this incredible thing, and you've got a few more of these daggers. Rosalind, it's your turn.
Yep.
You do feel a wind almost blowing across towards the center of the road.
So, microwaving again.
Microwave, ding.
10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. As you see these 10 points of damage hit, you do see sparks shooting out of a lot of places on the glass blower.
And then I'm going to take my quarterstaff and try to swing again. And I rolled the exact same thing.
The exact same thing?
Yeah, also a 13. Not going to hit.
Not gonna hit. Ralmos, you feel that you've been slid back towards the center of the road a bit. You feel kind of a pulling at your cloak, as if there's something not blowing you back, but like sucking you back almost.
Okay. Can I move back to my prior position, or am I limited in my ability to get away?
You may move, but you'll be at 2/3 speed, so you can only use 2/3.
Okay, I'll position myself because I was kind of between him and the center before. I imagine I'll just kind of rotate around since he's been pulled in as well.
Yep.
Using most of my movement to get there.
Yeah.
And I will pop out my dagger, whisper a few words into it as a bonus action, throw it out behind him, and it will make an attack roll against him in the darkness.
All right.
Do we get to know what you whisper to your dagger?
Whenever I figure out what it is, yes. I just like the mystery. Because of the expanded critical range, I got a 19, which is a critical hit.
There you go. All right. Crit hit, and what is your damage?
The damage. Oh, I get
So
to double that
you
lovely
get
1d4.
Full base damage and then add to it.
Oh, okay, just roll an extra single die.
Yeah, so you roll your damage
Okay.
and then you add full base damage to it.
Okay, so it's wow, all right. That's 15 magical piercing damage.
15 magical piercing damage as it slices through and arcs around. You see this dagger clip at the chest and the midsection and then the legs, and you see one knee go down and the blacksmith slide a few feet back towards us. He's not able to hold himself up. He's still up in terms of alive, but he is now only about 4 feet away from the portal, and it's splashing on him as the water is arcing around.
Okay, well, Now I'll use my action.
All right.
Hitting with the Shadow Blade.
Okay.
This one is a 17 to hit.
All right. Are you throwing or are you?
Oh, I'll walk closer towards him. I'm feeling
Alright.
ominous.
Oh, you're feeling ominous. Okay. As you get a bit of spray come in and you slice at him, it does hit. What is your damage?
The damage is 8 psychic.
8
Damn.
psychic. As you hit, you cleanly sever this head off of the Warforged, and there's sparks flying, and the head goes back into the portal, and the portal explodes a bit and knocks you backwards and slides you just to the edge of your darkness. You do take 5 points of force damage from that. The rest of
That's cool. Because when he died, I got 8 temp HP.
there you go. The rest of the body sucks in and blows up again into that portal. Water sprays in every direction. It is now.
Can I step out of the portal and just be like, we're done in here?
You're on your back and you're able to like
Oh, just out of the darkness.
wave out of the darkness. It is the glass blower's turn. The glass blower continues the red hot heat from Rosalind's attack, but you see the rest of his arms and head glow red hot. I am going to need a dexterity save on Rosalind, Tana, and Ralmos. You're within range.
21.
21?
6.
22.
22. What I hear over there?
6.
6. All right.
Oh no.
Jared's like, I got someone on
Uh,
something.
Let's see.
Is he about to explode?
He does explode. Those of you who have saved anything over 15, you take 10 points of fire damage. Unfortunately, there are 20 points of fire
Did
damage.
he explode at disadvantage?
He exploded, and there's no disadvantage there. 20 points goes to Tana.
Good. Bloody, but good.
Bloodied, but good. The battle is over at this point. The cart is shattered. The bookkeeper had dropped back down into the chest, and he's standing up with a couple smoking slivers of wood stuck to his side, and he's pulling them out and looks around. Are you all okay? I believe you've found what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
And then some. Is the portal still open?
The portal is still open, and it's weakening. It'll be open for another about 10 or 15 seconds. So McCulja
backing
is
it up.
kind of backing it up and sliding a little bit.
Backing it
Uh,
up.
Is it still dark?
We have one.
Does that go to the elemental plane of water?
You've opened some planes, and you've kind of crisscrossed them at the moment. It's not great.
Do you have a red dagger?
Yeah.
I'll buy it off you.
You can have it. I'm scared of it.
We go to Aloan, as she has one more part to place.
Mhm.
This is a wire piece that we need you to roll sleight of hand on, and it appears to just connect right at the lower base of the neck into the chest.
19.
19. You are able to connect it. You get a little zap as you do, and then you hear some of the explosions happen outside that had just happened in battle that we discussed. At that moment, C18N steps and limps over to the door, and he puts his head up and twists, and he goes, "Seems 3, 2, 3. newer Warforged have exploded. What is going on?
I've been in here, man. I don't know.
Let's go investigate. Maybe the artificer is near. And he starts limping towards.
Dude, I think your artificer may be dead. Just so you know.
Did the coin work?
That's true.
He's here somewhere. And back at the scene of the battle, the bookkeeper stands up and cracks his neck a little bit and then looks around and says, "So, which one is it that you found? Was it the Chrononomicron or..."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so you swap places with the bookkeeper and put him in the hole?
No. What do you mean?
How do you know what the Chrononomicron is?
I am the artificer.
Whose skeleton was in the bookshop then?
It was my apprentice who was supposed to take on the last Warforged repairs. But when I'd heard of his death, I'd come to wait out C18N and the rest of his party's return,
Oh.
hoping that we could fix him. At this point, Aloan and C18N are able to round the corner and see what's going on. And C18N hobbles over as fast as he can, and he's waving, "Artificer! Artificer! I believe we may have a new apprentice." And he kind of points back over his shoulder at Aloan. The windows of some of the shops are starting to open, and you hear voices, and you hear a kid scream out, "I knew the metal men were real! I knew it! I knew it!" And he rushes out and stares up, jaw dropped, looking up at C18N, and he goes, I, you're cool!" And he runs off from C18N to look at the wreckage and see the portal kind of suck up and splash gallons of water across the street. So the street is now a slight river of debris and mud as the battle had left floating bits of the cart, some missing bricks that now have mud in this once pristine side of the village. And that's where we leave off. The wreckage in this hamlet, and the party now standing there with the artificer reunited with a Warforged.
We did it.
Job well done.
Together.
You solved a mystery, you fixed a Warforged, you destroyed part of a village.
I'm really glad we had smarter people when it came to having a mystery, because I don't think I would have gotten there ever.
Bixby would have just been like, "I need more daggers," and then eventually used them, and a forest would have been collapsed on fire and drowned all at the same time.
Yes.
But there was an exchange of a red-handled blade, and Bigsby now has a few other blades on his person that he may do whatever he wishes with. The handled blade...
Oh, and that dope sword.
Yeah. The sword is still hidden with Aloan right now. No one else knows of its existence other than you lot. The blade that Tana had picked up has a golden gem sunken into it.
Nice. Thank you guys for playing with us.
That was great. Now,
Alright.
so we've wrapped up for the evening, but that doesn't mean that your fun is going to be wrapped up. We're going to be going on a raid into another stream here soon. If there's anyone that you want to shout out, a place that you would like us to go in chat, or maybe some of our guests have an idea.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an idea. Just say no. We'll find someone. But stick around for that.
In
And
the
let's talk about.
meantime, don't forget to check out some blacksmith craft dice.
Yep.
Some critical treasures.
What a treasure they are.
Some caffeinated cobalt.
Wow, I'm awake.
And don't forget to save up those show points to make Nathan eat his vegetables.
And give
I
doggos
am-
treats.
And give the doggos treats.
Wouldn't you rather see a dog get a treat?
Dog
though?
gets a treat, Nathan gets a treat.
That's not a treat.
All right. Do we have any recommendations? Otherwise, I
No
have-
recommendations here.
No recommendations. All right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to send us to Joe Cat here in a second.
Ooh,
Joe Cat
I
has a
think Joe
lot of
Cat.
cool stuff he does. He's currently playing, I think, Final Fantasy or another game. But he does do a really, really, really great series on Crap Guide to D&D.
So
Uh,
fun.
so
Good
so
deal.
do take a look at that. So we're going
And
to start
really
that raid
quick-
in a second.
Yeah, one more thank you to our wonderful guests. Be sure to follow them as well. What were those handles again, guys?
Sarah Kate Davis.
Sarah Kate Davis on Instagram.
And
Perfect.
I am on Twitter at Glenn Houston. Houston, it looks like Huston. It's very confusing.
Mhm.
And then also Razeth on Twitch. And that is fun fact. My first D&D character became my primary Twitch handle. So
Nice.
All right.
Check it out, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I can't officially
Thanks for having
send us to Joe Cat because he does have subscriber-only chat at the moment because he's got a lot of people following him. So do hop over there if you wish. We've hopped over there. Otherwise, we will see you in a few weeks when we kick off our official season 4.
Officially kicked
Yeah,
off.
baby.
Awesome.
So, thank you. Have a good night, everybody.